What's up, Knicks Nation? Happy weekend to you all. Thank you. I want to first of all thank you for the prayers, the very well wishes. I got a lot of them. I haven't even been able to answer all of them. I want to answer all of them individually. All of the well wishes, the prayers that you guys sent up have been greatly, greatly appreciated. As it turns out, like my wife, make a long story short, we had to cut our, I could not go to my cousin's wedding in DC. Had to cut that short, had to take my wife to the emergency room. As it turns out, her blood, she was bleeding internally, and it got to the point we didn't realize it, and it got to the point where she couldn't even stand up. So when we got to the hospital, they told us, they don't know what is causing the blood internally, but she's bleeding internally. So we had to do emergency blood transfusion on Thursday. And then they did all kind of tests, and they went invasive in these cameras inside her body and found out there was some sort of lesion there that was leaking. It was a little inflamed. And as it turns out, it was nothing serious. It turned out that they think my wife took some aspirin earlier in the week, and she hardly ever uses aspirin. See, we have aspirin because I can't use ibuprofen. I have a motorcycle accident a few years ago and bruised my kidney, so I could never use ibuprofen because I had the bruised kidney. So I brought aspirin. So very rare I use it too, but she was feeling pain in her gums and she used it, and apparently she cannot use ibuprofen or aspirin, and that's what caused this to happen. She's going to see a specialist later, but as it turns out, it was nothing serious. They gave her the blood transfusion. Blood came back to normal. Everything came back to normal, and she is doing much better. I brought her home yesterday from the hospital. She hadn't eaten in more than 2 days, and we went to a restaurant, obviously, and she ate there. And then now she's back to normal today, and she's feeling a lot better. So thank you all for your prayers. Thank you for your well wishes. It's greatly appreciated. The love that we received from Knicks Nation was tremendous. And again, I can't pay you back for that. All I could do is say thank you. I wish I could do more, but I can't. So I just say thank you all for your prayers. Thank you for your well wishes. Greetings and welcome, HP Carlos from Portugal. Keith Watkins, welcome. Aristotle, welcome. Steve, Guilford McCormick, also Jose Vasquez, welcome. Ala Wise, welcome to all of you. Donald, 140th Street, Torres, 2423. Welcome to all of you today. I just want to also thank you all again for your well wishes and your prayers. It was greatly, greatly appreciated. And they were obviously they work because my wife is back home. She's feeling a lot better. She's not going back to work until Wednesday, though, because they want to be cautious and all that. But she's feeling 100% better, than she did Thursday. So we didn't go to the wedding, but hey, sometimes these things happen. G. Bastino, thank you all. Thank you. Welcome to you also. So a lot of things to talk about this week in Knicks Nation. The thing is, the Knicks are predictable in a good way. They are predictable. What do I mean by that? There's certain tenets, basics that you should know about the Knicks by now, having now had 4 full seasons under the Don's leadership and 4 full seasons under Tibbs on the sidelines. There's certain things we should know. Of course, there's always those knuckleheads that want to impose their fantasy on the Knicks and are disappointed when the Knicks are not complying with their fantasy. But one of the things we know is the Knicks are always careful, always cautious, always cheap, okay? Always trying to get the most bang for their buck. Always doing that. That's constant, okay? Also, Tibbs is reliable with a 9-man rotation. That's what he likes. That's what he does. He always has a 10th and 11th guy, which doesn't play as much as the rotation guys do. And they're just there in case a rotation guy gets hurt, okay? Also, Getting most bang for your buck, meaning you get good depth when you can, when you can afford it, and when it fits, good depth. Okay, so the Knicks are predictable with that. So based on everything I just said, there's certain things that even though I know that people are going to run off, with and trip out. Already seen it. They just signed Landry Shamet. Okay, people were quoting, "Oh, he's going to get 11 million. Oh, he's going to be in the rotation." It didn't take long for that foolishness to come up, and nobody. And this is why also I always wait. As I said to you, the night of a Knicks game, I very, very rarely come on a podcast right that night, win or lose. I very rarely do it. And the reason is because I want to give some time for accurate information and non-biased reflection of what actually happened. A lot of times when you're in an emotional situation, especially us who are Knicks fans, you will be off, you will go overboard, and this is tendency in New York Knicks Nation. Go overboard, go off, make bad recommendations, make trade recommendations that shouldn't happen, and things of that nature. So when the Knicks sign players, I also don't rush right away to make judgments about why they signed this player, what's happening, blah, 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 blah. You have to wait and make an evaluation calmly. Okay. So the Knicks signed Landry Shamet to an Exhibit 9 contract. Okay. They did not sign him to a guaranteed deal. Number one. Number two, when you go to Spot Rack and you look at how much cap space the Knicks have, and we're talking about second apron cap space. They don't have any cap space into the first apron. They have $7.6 million under the second apron. So whoever they sign is not going to make more than that. Probably not going to make more than the mid-level, mini mid-level money that they have at $5 million. Okay, so these are parameters we need to understand. So Landry Shamet was signed to Landry Shamet. Excuse me, I want to call him Larry, but it's Landry Shamet was signed to an Exhibit 9 contract. That is what I call a prove it contract. What it means is you are invited to training camp. They're going to guarantee you a minimum amount of money if you do not make the team. Like it could be anywhere from like $15,000 to $100,000 or anywhere in between that they will guarantee you for showing up to try to make the team. This is the position of Landry Shamet. He's being signed on an Exhibit 9 deal to see if he could make the team. Okay? Everybody got that so far? I want to make sure we're clear because people have been going crazy with this already. Fitting him into the rotation and showing what he could do. First of all, we need to understand this is the position they signed him in. Okay? So he's not guaranteed any minutes. He's not guaranteed to even make the team. He's guaranteed to have an opportunity to make the team. It's kind of like I said, I call it a show me contract. In other words, you want to make the team, you think you're good enough, show me. And you're going to get that chance in training camp. Okay? That's what that is. So if he makes the team, he will have a guaranteed contract, probably a veteran minimum contract that's very similar to Cam Payne. Okay, very similar. Cam Payne signed a 1-year, $3.3 million contract. If Landry Shamet makes the team, it will be something in that same scenario. It's not going to be anything mind-blowing, earth-shattering, rotation. No. Another thing, the rotation is set. Okay, the rotation is set. It's not the perfect rotation in terms of the center position. And I think we all understand that. It's not the perfect rotation would have been to re-sign Hartenstein, and keep Mitchell. That would have been perfect. But so since Hartenstein is gone, you don't really have, there's not a guy, and for various reasons, either the team wasn't interested or the guy wasn't interested based on the money that the Dom was going to offer him, which is going to be cheap. And so there's not a guy that they are comfortable with, that they have signed, that's going to come in and be a backup five ahead of Precious Achiuwa. There's nobody out there right now. Somebody, and again, here's another note that come to me talking about the Knicks missed a lot of opportunities to sign guys. See, what makes you think the Knicks missed opportunities? What makes you think they were really interested in whatever said player you think they should have signed? And what makes you think that they're good enough, that player? See, that's what I'm saying. When people start making assumptions, the Knicks missed opportunity. No, they didn't miss no opportunity. That's a diss on the Dom. Most people don't know what they're saying. So they're trying to diss the Don, or maybe, no, I'm not really. Well, what are you talking about? They didn't miss no opportunity. Well, what about they name a player? If they were good enough, somebody would have signed them. And again, here's another situation. Brethren, there are 30 NBA teams. 30. Each NBA team wants to win. They all have scouting departments that are scouting not just in the US, but worldwide. They do this for a living. In other words, like me, I scout for the Knicks. I do scouting on my own. I look up stuff. I look up stats. I look up players. I look at film. But that's not even a part-time job. I have a job that I get paid to do. There are guys on 30 teams, whole staffs, that their whole job is to scout and look and develop and see what they can fit for their team. Okay? That's their whole job. So for any casual fan to think that they have a more understanding of a player than anybody that's in the NBA is ridiculous on its face. So if, for example, there's a guy, Biyombo, he played in the league, and he's not signed by anybody. So let me ask you a question. Bismarck Biyombo is not on anybody's team right now. He's not on anybody's team. He's been in the NBA. So what does that mean, first of all? That means 30 teams decided we don't need him. Not just the Knicks. 30 NBA teams said we don't need him. Okay? So therefore, we can make certain assumptions. It is obvious he's not the Bismarck Bianco that signed a $64 million deal a few years ago with Orlando. He's not that guy. Otherwise, he'd be on a team. You got to understand, if a guy is available, there's reasons he's available. Okay? And sometimes those reasons are not based on the guy himself in terms of he just chooses not to be available or to be available. Sometimes he's not good enough. It's just as simple as that. Okay? So if there was a center that the Knicks felt could help them, they are good enough as a scouting team and a development team to sign that guy. If they feel that guy can help them. Okay? So if someone came available that they felt could put them in a better position than they are today, they would make that move. It'd be done. Okay? Whoever it was. Okay? So then that means there's nobody out there right now that's available that the Knicks feel is put them in a better position than they are right now. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. They don't get that. Okay? The Knicks know what the hell they're doing. They got a scouting crew. They got a team that they know what to develop. They know what fit. Tibbs knows what he wants. He ain't no rookie coach. He knows what fits his system. And so if there was somebody out there that they felt they could get, they would get him. Okay? They would get him. Now, there could be players that come available at the trade deadline. All right? It's not guaranteed that would happen, but it's possible that would happen. Okay. And so we look at some guys that can't be traded until the trade deadline that sign contracts with their teams, like Mo Wagner, right? Like Valanciunas. For now, guys that have signed that looked pretty good. They're in the league. Some teams signed them, okay? That could come available come trade deadline time. All right. But are not available now. So I say all that to say what the Knicks have right now as a 9-man rotation, that's what they're going to go to war with right now. Okay. This is what we got. And the big story there is Precious Achua is your backup 5. That's the story. Okay. There's no other guy coming. There's nobody walking through that door. As he said, Robert Parrish ain't walking through that door. Jabbar ain't walking through that door. Obviously, Hartenstein ain't walking through that door. This is what you got. This is what you're going to go to war with. And me, I'm satisfied with that. I'm good with that. I have all the confidence in Precious Achua in the world. Even though, good afternoon, Ms. Stevenson, even though he's not a 5. He's not a natural 5. He can play the 5, as we know. But his position is power forward. That's his natural position. He's not a 5. But he can guard, and that's the big thing about it. He can guard 5s. He can guard 5s. That's the important thing here. Defense. He can guard Embiid, and he can guard Paolo Banchero. He can guard both of them. So he can guard 4s like Paolo, big, tough assignment that he can handle, and he can guard 5s like Embiid, big, tough assignment that he can handle. And so that's the difference right here. Okay, yeah, and Siakam, and yeah, we can keep going. That's right. He can guard Pascal Siakam. He could also guard the 5 guy there, Miles Turner. He can guard Miles Turner. He can guard Pascal Siakam. Okay, you can put him on both 4s and 5s. He can guard both of them. Okay, and I don't think as far as there's guys he would struggle with. Everybody has their kryptonite. But I would say solidly 80% of whoever he's got to play against in the league, he can handle. Okay, 80%. There's probably a 20% or less amount of guys that he would have trouble with. Okay, for whatever reason. But there's a solid 80% he could handle. He could deal with, whether they are 4s or 5s. What's up, Stephen Kelly? What's up, Senior Beef? So, right now, the 9-man rotation is what it is. It's set. Nobody in the 9-man rotation is worried about their job right now. And Knicks Nation, when you're talking about stability, that's stability. Stability means there is no guy that you need to play that's in your rotation that's worried about his job, that's worried about his minutes, that's looking over his shoulder. They know what they got coming in. They know who they're used to playing together. They know who they're going to play with. They know what to expect. There's no surprises coming into training camp. This is called continuity and stability. This is what the Knicks have right now. This is what we've needed for a while. Y'all remember, it wasn't too many years. It was before Tibbs, where almost every year you had a whole set of new guys. You didn't know who the rotation was going to be. You didn't even know who exactly was going to be on the team because they were always changing. And then when they got to Fizdale, you didn't even know from night to night who was going to be in the rotation. There was no continuity. There was no consistency at all. In that, nothing. He didn't stick with nobody. He would lose a couple games and change everything up. Okay, and so with Tibbs, you know what he's going to do. When he trusts a guy, you might like him or don't like him. You know that guy's going to play, and that guy knows he's going to play. Whether it's Derrick Rose or whether it's Alec Burks or whoever, Taj Gibson, they know what to expect, and we know what to expect. That's really very good, especially now that you got a team that fits and is ready to challenge for the Eastern Conference, and you know what to expect and you know what you got and everybody knows what their role is, this is extremely important. So with the 9-man rotation, nobody's looking over their shoulder. Nobody is worried about their minutes. Nobody's going to lose any time because of anybody they just signed. Okay, it's especially like people like to pick on Deuce for some reason. Well, Deuce is not really a point guard. We need a point guard. Deuce is the backup point guard. Let me say that again. You may not like it. Deuce McBride is the backup point guard. Let me say it one more time for the knuckleheads in the audience. Deuce McBride, Miles Deuce McBride, is your backup point guard, whether you like it or not. Tibbs likes it. I like it, but that don't matter. Tibbs likes it. That's your backup point guard. He ain't looking over his shoulder at nobody. Okay? There it is. Right? And generally, and tell me if you've noticed this, Knicks Nation, the only time Tibbs changes that is when somebody is really weak defensively. He don't change because a guy misses a lot of shots. He will change if a guy is a weak link defensively. Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier. He will change under those circumstances. That's the only circumstances he changes. Or if a guy gets hurt, okay, then he changes. Guy gets hurt, he changes. He has to. Or if a guy is weak defensively, that's the point. You know, you get messed out. You get jacked out of his rotation. Okay, so if a guy's missing assignments defensively, or if a guy's hurt, or he's playing hurt and missing assignments defensively, Tibbs will move him out of the rotation. That's it. Just because a guy, let's say Tyler Kolek is, let's say for the sake of argument, I don't believe this, but let's say Tyler Kolek was better offensively than Deuce McBride. He still won't play. Because on the defensive side, they're not even in the same universe. They're not even in the same universe. And I'm not even giving you the, if I ever decide to say, well, you know, Tyler could play a better offense, that don't matter. They're not even in the same universe. What's up, Diamond Holdings? So he ain't playing, right? So now then, the 9-man rotation is set. But there's a 15-man roster. And let me tell you something, Knicks Nation. There's going to be a dogfight for them 6 spots. And I want to tell you, nobody is guaranteed anything. Which means that Jericho Sims and Cam Payne, they got to fight to make sure they're still on this roster at the end of training camp. Now, I favor Jericho because he's been in the system. But nobody, them last 6 spots, it's whoever makes it is them last 6 spots. Especially you see them bringing the Landry Shamet. Now, Landry Shamet, if y'all, you know, heard of him, he's known as a shooter. He is known as a shooter, right? Okay, he is known as a shooter. So, I'm looking at this. He's been in the league now 6 seasons, 6 or 7 years, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7th season. He is a career 38% shooter from 3. He's a career 38% shooter from 3. You would expect him, if he was to play for the Knicks, to be a consistent shooter. He's come off the bench his whole career. Problem is, last season, he shot 34% from 3 on 3+ attempts a game. 34% from 3. That we're gonna, you know, that could be an anomaly, maybe because he was playing for Washington. I don't know what system they were running and what was going on, but that was pretty much for Landry Shamet. That was his career low. Even there's a rookie shot 42% from 3. His worst year prior to that was with Phoenix. He shot 37% from three. So he's been very consistent. Last year, though, he fell off greatly. He shot 34% from three. So he's really 38% career shooter from three, which is very good, above league average, and we have seen him. Now, the interesting thing is both Shamet as well as Campaign both played for the Phoenix Suns. And I think they both have had experience with Mikal Bridges. I think both of those guys have, if I'm not mistaken. What's up, Danny Lands? What's up? Pulaski? What's up? Malik Shabazz, my brother. So the competition is for 6 spots. Okay, for 6 spots. Again, let's make sure people who are just coming in hear this. Landry Shamet is not guaranteed to make the team. So don't start counting what he can do for the Knicks before he even makes the team. He's on an Exhibit 9 contract. That's an invite to try to make the team. Now, I'm not saying he won't make the team. I'm saying we don't know if he will make the team. We don't know. Because right now, when you look at the team, look at the squad before Larry Shamet, look at the squad as it was the day before they signed Larry Shamet. The Knicks have, if you look at their roster now, they have 18 players on their roster. 18 players on their roster for 15 spots. Let me say that again. This is before they signed Larry Shamet to the Exhibit 9 deal. They had 18 players for 15 spots. Did y'all hear me? Some people going to get cut. And now you got Shamet. So now you got 19 players for 15 spots. Now, you can take 9 spots off the table because the 9-man rotation is set. So you really are dealing with, you take 9 spots off the table, you're dealing with 9 players trying to get 6 spots. Y'all got me? I want to make sure y'all catch that now. We got 9 players vying. Well, no, I'm sorry. We got 10 players now with Shamet. 10 players vying for 6 spots. Okay, so let's look at the players that are okay. We know the 9-man rotation, but let's look at the rest of the guys. You got Keita Bates-Diop, Jericho Sims, Cameron Payne, Tyler Collett, Pacome Dadier, Chikome Okiki, Ariel Hukporti, Kevin McCullough, remember him? And let's not forget Jacob Toppin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys. And now you add Landry Shamet. These 10 guys are fighting for 6 spots. And Landry Shamet, in my view, has the most uphill battle of all because he's got an Exhibit 9 deal. See, Dadier signed, he's guaranteed the next 2 years, 1.8 million, 2.8 million. Kolek is guaranteed the next 3 years, $2+ million a year. So those 2 guys, they got guaranteed money whether they make the team or not. I don't know what else is in their contract. Cameron Payne, he's guaranteed $2.2 million. And then, of course, you got $2 million for Jericho Sims, $2.6 million for Bates-Diop. So these guys got guaranteed money whether they on this team or not. Shamet has got to make the team. He's only guaranteed to come into camp. That's it. And whatever thousands of dollars they will pay him, which they will give him some money for coming into camp. But after that, he ain't guaranteed nothing. So then you got, you're not even talking about 2-way players, Jacob Toppin, McKellar, Ariel Hukporti, Chuma Okiki, I don't know what's going to happen with him. He's also a long shot, 26 years old. He's also a long shot. See, so the real battle here is 10 guys fighting for 6 positions. Okay, 10 guys fighting for 6 positions. And brethren, we have no idea. First off, let's say like this, McCormick is telling me who he believes will make it, but let me ask you this question. Do you think they're going to keep a backup center? They got Sims and Hoop Party, aside from Precious. Do you think they're keeping the backup center of those last 6 spots? I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna keep a backup center. Okay, you guys, they're keeping the backup center. All right, so you're dealing with Hoop Party and Jericho Sims. I'm gonna tell you right now, Jericho Sims will beat out Hoop Party. There's no question. Jericho Sims. Now, Jetson, you brought up a good point. There's 15 roster spots, and I think what you can have on top of that 3 two-way players. Am I right about that? Y'all basketball Pharisees, tell me. I think I'm right about that. So they can have 3 two-ways, and they got 15-man rotation, 15-man roster. So now look here. As far as 2 ways, they didn't already sign Hoop Party, McCullough, and Jacob Toppin. All 3 of those guys are signed to 2-way deals. Okay, all 3 of them. So your 2-way deals, all right, take that off the table. Take that off the table. All right, so now you got 7 guys fighting for 6 roster spots. So if you take the 2-way players off the table, number one, what does that tell you? You ain't gonna never see them playing in the regular team. You could forget the 2-way guys. They're gonna spend their whole season in the G League. They'll practice with the team, but you ain't seeing them play nowhere. No, forget it. Hoop Party, no. Jacob, no. And I like Jacob. You ain't seeing them play. They're on 2-way contracts. Okay, bye. Okay, so that's Westchester right there. So now you got 7 guys left, including Shamet, that's trying to get 6 spots. And you better make it 5 because Jericho Sims is going to make the team. He's going to be one of them centers. There's no doubt about my mind. If you keep it Precious and you got Jericho, and look, we know that Precious and Jericho plays good together. Okay, now you got 5 spots. You got 6 guys fighting for 5 positions. Okay, 6 guys fighting for 5 positions. That's what you got right now. So Landry Shamet comes in on an Exhibit 9 contract. That is a non-guaranteed deal. Okay, so I don't know what's going to happen. Now, Landry Shamet, let's talk about him. Can we say he is a pro-level shooter? Okay, right? Landry Shamet, I don't know about his defense. I know he came into the league as an older guy because he was a 4-year player, I think, at Wichita. He came in the league at he was only 21 when he came in the league. So he's 26 now. He's going to be 27 this year. Okay, so he's kind of in his prime. He is in his prime. He's 27 right now. He don't turn 28 until next March. So, you got to be able to play defense. You're going to make this team, or at least have the hope of developing some. Yeah. And you know what? This is a sign in my view, that the Knicks have arrived. When you're talking about 6 guys that are good players trying to get, 7 guys trying to get 6 spots. And you don't know who the 7 guys are, right? So we know we need Jericho Sims. Let's take him off the table. Other than that, you got 6 guys now fighting for 5 spots. Let me ask you all a question. Oh, here's the first poll question of the day. First poll question of the day. If it came, now remember, you're 6 guys fighting for 5 spots. All right. I'm not even gonna tell you. There's two. Let's say there's two players left. You got one spot, and it's between these two guys. Are you ready? There's two players left, and there's one spot, and it's between these two players. Tell me who you keep. Here we go. You got two spots, two guys fighting for that final 15th man. Who are you taking? Who are you taking? You got two guys fighting for that final spot. What you doing? What you doing? Now, if you're Tom Thibodeau, wait. If Tibbs is making the decision, you're going to get a different decision than if the Don is making that decision. I think, can we agree with that? If the final decision, you got a 15th guy, and you fighting between these two players, I'm going to tell you right now, the Don's decision would be different than Tibbs' decision in this case. And you know why, and I know why, right? Right? But listen, so you taking the three two-way guys, they off the table. So McKellar, Jacob, and Uriel, they two-way. They going to Westchester. All right, they going to Westchester. For the rest of the cats, you got Shamet, Cameron Payne, Bates, Diop, Picome, Dadier, Kuma, Okiki, whatever the hell, and you got to decide. And of course, Shamet. So you got to decide. Hey, Tony Bell, you got to decide, who are you going to keep? Ooh, it's close. Look at this. It is close, man. It is close. It is very close. But it's looking like it's 51-49 at this point for Kolek. But it is close. Y'all can't tell. Y'all can't tell. So look, I'm going to tell you, and tell me if I'm wrong on this. Tell me if you greatly disagree with Raw Hebrew, what I'm about to say. If it's up to Tibbs, bye-bye Tyler Kolek. If it's up to the Don, bye-bye Landry Shamet. Am I right? Because the Don is thinking future. We done guaranteed this boy $6 million. We keeping him. We ain't guaranteed Shamet jack, but to come in and try. But if it's up to Tibbs, you gonna give me a 7-year vet in his prime, and we can get him. Bye, Rook. We try to get this chip. Bye, Rook. Am I lying to y'all yet? Huh? Y'all agree with my assessment of this situation? Because that's what you're dealing with. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Jericho Sims, first of all, let's talk about Jericho for a second. Jericho been with Tibbs now for, this is his 4th season. Jericho knows what Tibbs expects. Jericho knows Tibbs' defensive schemes. Jericho has worked his tail off to come in because he wants to really get his opportunity to shine this year, because he's gonna get some playing time. I mean, there's no doubt. In the best case scenario, Mitch Robb plays 65 games. That's the best case. Okay, 72, because he's done that before. Best case scenario, Mitch Robb plays 72 games. That's the best case that you can expect. That means there's 10 games you're going to need somebody else starting. Jericho's going to start at least 10 games. I'm feeling like Jericho going to start up with the 20 games. So Jericho knows he can make himself some money this year. He can do some stuff. And he knows he's going to, look, that brother going to come into camp hungry as hell. He going to be kicking behind and taking names. That's how Jericho's coming. So, and the Knicks need him anyway. So Jericho's going to be there. Okay. And listen, let me give you another thing. It ain't even going to be an argument if you got to decide between Hoop Porty and Jericho Sims. Have a good life, Hoop Porty. You know, back to Australia or New Zealand, wherever the hell you was. Do what you can, brother. Bye. Because that's how that's going to roll. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. So Jericho's in. After that, I don't know. Cameron Payne and Shamet, they're going to be battling. Kolek going to be battling. And let me tell you something else. They don't need all three. They don't need three guards. I mean, aside from the Brunson Deuce thing you already got, they don't need three more. They could use one more. Am I lying to you yet? They don't need three guards. Okay? They don't. They could use one more. Now, I'm going to give you this. If I'm Tibbs, I feel like I got a pretty good handle on how this old dude my age thinks. If I'm Tibbs, I agree with the Don that Kolek needs to go to Westchester. And the reason is, if we're thinking of the future and you got him locked up for 3 years, hey, let him play 40 minutes, 48 minutes a game in Westchester. He gets his reps. He gets to learn on the pro level. The Knicks have, I keep forgetting my homie's name, man. The Asian dude, Tibbs' right hand man. He got him. He's gonna learn. I'm gonna keep Kolek because I'm putting him down there to learn in the G League. He's gonna run with McKellar. He's gonna run with Daddy. Dice Yoshimoto. Dice gonna teach this boy. They're gonna learn the NBA game. So I'm putting Tyler Kolek down there in the G League on just because of the fact that if he's got talent that can be developed in the NBA level, that's the best shot for him. And you put him down there and you really, you work his behind off down there. That's what I would do. You work his tail off. Now, is he going to be Deuce McBride and give you 29 and 10? I don't know. I don't think he can. But what we want, it don't matter. His stats in G League actually are not going to be that important. What's going to be real important is, can the boy develop defensively? Can he develop that? Can he bring his Marquette game to the G League offensively? And can he develop defensively? Westchester is the best thing for him. So if I am the Knicks, aside from the three dudes that I signed to two ways, I'm keeping Kolek and I'm putting him down there in Westchester. That's what I would do. And most of y'all agree because you got Kolek 52% over Shamet. So I would put him in Westchester and let him develop. In fact, I think y'all could bear witness to me. I think I've been saying that from the beginning. Some of y'all was trying to talk about he going to challenge Deuce for minutes and all this BS. And I was telling you, no, he's going to Westchester and he's going to learn in Westchester. I think y'all can bear witness. I did say that. I've been saying that a minute, right? Since all of y'all was, some of y'all was tripping over yourselves on his nutsack all summer, but I was telling y'all, no. Now, the next poll question. You ready for the next one? Here we go. Next poll question. Next poll question. Who you keeping between these two players? And I'm going to put two guys here, and I'm going to let you tell me who you keeping. Here we go. Now, all right, so we keeping Jericho Sims. We're keeping Kolek because we could put him in the G League, and he could roll down there 48 minutes a night for whatever games they play. I think they play 35 games. Let that boy roll down there. Let him learn the game on the G League level. Good. So now you can only keep one of these veterans. You can only keep Payne or Shamet. You don't need both of them. You got Brunson and Deuce. They ain't going nowhere. The likelihood of them getting hurt is small for both of them. So you just need one more guy that could come in if one of them gets hurt and play. Or, whatever nights, 10 nights, you're going to get 10 nights this year probably where Brunson is not going to play. Sprained ankle, sore ribs, whatever. And that's cool. And Deuce is going to start. So you need a backup guy that's going to come in on the rotation behind him. So you got to decide now. Is it going to be Shamet or is it going to be Payne? What do y'all think? Yeah, I would pick Payne myself. I would pick Payne. I would. Payne is a better... And I'm not saying he's a two-way player, but he's a better two-way player than Shamet is, in my view. He can play both sides of the ball. And, of course, just like Shamet, Payne can hit you some big shots in big spots, just like Shamet can. So, and Payne is only on a 1-year, $3.3 million deal. So I'm keeping Payne in that scenario. In fact, because, look, I think we understand, really, truly, though, the Knicks do not need 4 point guards. right? I mean, they don't. If you want to have extra guys for the Knicks, there's two areas you might consider. One is the 5 spot, right? And the other, and they're going to have 3. And the other is the wing. You can almost never have too many wings, so you're going to have a wing guy. Now, Shamet, how tall is Shamet? I don't think Shamet's a wing. Shamet's 6'4". He's not really a wing. He's a 2 guard at best, right? He might be a backup point. So you don't need another guy like that. You don't. Okay, so he's going to be pressing to try to make the team, as he should. But if it comes down to Cameron Payne and Shamet, I'm taking Cameron Payne on that scenario. So I think what we're doing, Knicks Nation, right here, imperceptibly, we're figuring this crap out, right? So Jericho's staying. He ain't going nowhere. So Jericho's there. I'm going to keep Tyler Kolek because I could put him in the G League. I could put him in the G League, and he could be down there with Ariel Hukporti, Kevin McCullough, and Jacob Toppin. Those 3 can be your G League staples. You know what I mean? So he could let him run with them guys. Just like if you remember Deuce's first 2 years, Deuce and Jericho was running in the G League. Them 2 dudes was dominating the G League together. It was Deuce and Jericho Sims. They were dominating the G League. And so you kind of want that now. You put Tyler Kolek in there and you let him run. Okay? You let him run. Well, the problem is, otherwise, you're not going to get Alec Burks for $5 million. Right? How much Alec Burks signed for? I think he signed for more than $5 million, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I think Alec Burks signed for more than $5 million. Right? You're not getting him for $5 million. So, and Alec Burks wants to play. Legitimately wants to play. Whereas on the Knicks, you saw what happened this past season. They were injury down. And even after everybody was getting hurt, Burks didn't play that much. Okay? Because Deuce had all them minutes. Deuce was getting all the available minutes at the guard spot at the end of last season. Am I lying to y'all or what? Deuce was getting all the available minutes at the point guard spot and off guard spot last year. Okay, so and with all of them injuries, you had to get Brunson to go down to get Burks to get some minutes. Okay, I didn't think both him and Bodega 44 were both going to play. Bodega ended up getting the minutes in the rotation more than Alec Burks. Alec Burks sat most of the time. Okay, so he wants to play. He don't care if it's a winning team or losing team. He wants to be a guy that plays in the rotation. That's not going to happen here. So you're not going to get him. So and Cam Payne understands his role. He may play or he may not play. You know, in Tibbs' scheme as a 11th guy, 10th guy, he'll get some minutes. You know, he's not going to be a regular rotation piece, but he knows he's going to play some. Brunson ain't going to play 82 games. He knows that. So he'll play a little bit. And then in the playoffs, somebody gets in foul trouble, somebody gets hurt, we're going to need him. That's a guy you can count on as that third depth, third point guard. So, yeah, I like that. So, but if you're picking me between Payne and Shamet, it ain't no contest. I'm picking Payne. I got Payne already. So now, of the guys that are left, we take the 9-man rotation off the table because that's it. They're done. The 10th guy, I got Jericho Sims. The 11th guy is Cameron Payne. And I got a guy for the G League, technically my 12th guy, but that's Tyler Kolek. He's going to be spending the whole year in Westchester. That's no problem. And you're going to be developing him. It's almost like a cake you putting in the oven. You put him in the oven, you come back and check on it when it's ready in 2 years. Right? Boom. That's it. Done. Okay? You got your G League dudes, McCullough, Jacob Toppin, and Ariel. So now you got that set. Your farm team is set. Yes, your farm team. Your farm team set. So now you got Shamet. You got who else? Daddier. You got Bates Diop. Shamet. Daddier beats them. So let's see how many guys we done counted already. So Sims is number 10. Cam Payne is number 11. Tyler Kolek is number 12. Okay? So you need 3 more guys to round out your roster. Got me so far? Actually, You only need 2 more guys to round out your roster because what's his name? Kolek is not a two-way player. Kolek is the regular roster guy. So you need 2 more guys to round out your roster. And let's see what we got left. We would have left Bates Diop, Pacome Daddier, Shamet, and Okeke. So you really need 3 more guys. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4. You need to pick 3 of 4. You need to pick 3. So you got to pick between Bates Diop, 29 years old, small forward. He's about what, 6'7"? Bates Diop? He's about 6'7". Am I right about that? Let me see how tall this cat is. I know he's a wing. Let me see. 6'8", 6'8", 229 in his 6th year out of Ohio State. He's a wing. So you got Bates Diop. I think Okeke, we can safely say he's trying out for another team. He's going to be in the Knicks camp, but he's really trying out for another team. Yeah, right? Are we agreeable on that? So yeah. Thank you, Felicia Lee. That's right. He did sign for $3.3 million with Miami, but he wants to play. And he will play in Miami because they always got people hurt. But yeah, he wants to play. Yeah, because you got 3 Speak Ether is asking Kolek on the roster and the G League. Yes, because the G League is the 2-way players, right? So you got 3 2-way players already signed: Jacob Toppin, Ariel Hooporti, and you have who am I missing? Kevin McCullough out of Kansas. You signed 3 G League players already. Okay, so you can't sign Kolek for the G League, but you can play him in the G League. But technically, he's part of the 15-man roster. So he's on the roster, but he's going to spend the whole season in the G League. Okay, so technically, he's a roster guy, but he's never going to play. He's going to play in the G League. He's going to stay in the G League. And that's what he needs to do, because he's going to get reps there that he will never get on the regular 15-man roster. So he can get his reps there. He can develop there. Dice Yoshimoto help him out down there. And he's going to be playing with the G League guys that we signed, plus Jacob Toppin, who's not a rookie anymore. And they will develop him down there. That's good. He develops down there. Okay. So that's that. So, yeah, and some from Brooklyn said mid-season trade. We'll talk about that. I think we haven't even finished training camp yet. So we're talking about training camp right now. So we got Jericho Sims. We take the 9-man rotation off the table. That's off the table. Then you get Jericho Sims, Tyler Kolek, Cameron Payne. So now you got 12. You need 3 more. You got 3 positions, and you got, let's see, Bates Diop, Pacome Daddier, Okeke. I'm missing somebody. Oh, Shamet, right. Shamet, Okeke, Bates Diop, and Daddier. So you got 3 spots. You got 4 players. I think it's safe to say Okeke is out. Right? I think Okeke is out. So Okeke is gone. So now you got Shamet, Bates Diop, and Pacome Daddier. So you got 3 guys, 3 spots. There's your 15-man roster. So Tyler Kolek is going to be on the roster, but he's going to be in the G League playing with the other 2-way guys that we signed this past season, getting his reps in, getting his development. Yeah, Toppin is a 2-way guy. So you got Toppin, Ariel Hooporti, and Kevin McCullough. All 3 of those are officially signed as 2-way players. So they're going to spend a year in the G League. They're hardly going to be if you got to see Jacob Toppin play, the Knicks are in trouble. The last time we saw Jacob Toppin play was in Miami, when Orlando. I was at that game where they only had 6 guys. If you see Jacob Toppin playing, they got a problem. Okay, so you'll never see, if things go right, you'll never see Jacob Toppin play in the regular roster this season. He's going to be in the 2-way. So you got Jacob Toppin on 2-way, Hooporti on the 2-way, McCullough on the 2-way. Those three guys on a two-way. You bring Tyler Kolek down there, you got a nice two-way foundation of development. And that's what you need. A nice two-way foundation of development. You can move forward on that. Okay. So I would keep Shamet for now. Now, let's talk about what Son from Brooklyn brought up, which is a trade later on. Now, it's not 100% guaranteed the Knicks will make a trade at the trade deadline, but they could for sure. Under what conditions is what we really need to be asking. What conditions would the Knicks need? And this is what people have to understand. What are the conditions that would have to exist for the Knicks to feel we need to make a trade at the deadline? What are the conditions? Well, first of all, the rotation of Precious and Jericho must not be working out. Or Mitchell Robinson gets hurt and he's out an extended time. Has this happened before? So if Mitchell Robinson is out and he's out on an extended period, and now all you have is Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Sims. And I'm going to tell you right now, for those of you in delusional land, there is no way in hell that Tibbs is going to play Hoop Party this year. That is not going to happen. Okay? So forget that. So they're going to need a center. That point, they would need somebody. Now, that's one condition. Mitchell Robinson is out for an extended time. He hurt his ankle again. Something else gets broken, and he's out for an extended time. That would facilitate the need for the Knicks to make a trade to get a center. Okay. Second, Mitch Rob is healthy, but Precious and Jericho are not working out very well as backups. It's not working out. The Knicks are getting exploited in their second unit consistently. It can't be just a bad stretch. It can't be just a bad few minutes. They have to be getting exploited and losing games on a consistent basis. Tibbs ain't going to just give up on them because they had a bad game. But after 30 games, which is you're going to have that by the time you get to the trade deadline, after 30 games, it is evident that we need a legit backup because the two guys that we've been working with are not working out. Okay? So let's take what we got so far. If Mitchell Robinson is hurt for an extended time, they will need to make a trade. Okay? Okay? If Mitchell Robinson is hurt for an extended time, they will need to make a trade. Which does this, though. You got to also look at both sides. Logically, you must play both sides. So if Mitchell Robinson is healthy and he's not hurt, and they're managing his minutes and he's playing at a very high level, best offensive rebound in the NBA, you're not making a trade. Not for a starter. Not for a starter. Everybody got that? If he is playing at a Mitch Rob level and he's covering the defense extremely well and he's running the floor and he's doing his thing, offensive rebounding monster, you're not making a trade. That's not going to happen. Not for a starter. Now, if the second one, if Precious and Jericho are not working out as backups, they're not playing well. The second unit is suffering because the 5 spot is being exploited. Okay? The second unit is suffering because the 5 spot is being exploited. You're going to make a trade for a backup, a solid backup 5. It's actually, in my view, it would be harder to find that guy than to find the starter. You could get, if it's possible to make, if Mitch Rob is hurt, you could trade Precious. That's a valuable trade commodity. Precious Achiuwa is 25 years old, and he can play the 4 to 5 and defend. You have to give ass. You have to get ass. You have to give ass to get ass. So Precious would be traded, not because he's not good, because you need him to bring in a legit 5. You can trade him, and then you could be talking about either Mo Wagner, or you could be talking about what's the guy's name that just signed in Washington? I can see his face too. The guy that just signed in Washington, I forgot his name, but he came out of New Orleans. you can sign one of them. Okay, I'm frozen. Tell me when I'm not frozen no more. Am I still frozen? What's the guy that just signed in Washington? While I'm frozen, let me look this up. Valanciunas, 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 right? So you can legitimately have a chance to get one of those two guys, Mo Wagner or Jonas Valanciunas. You can get one of those two guys, and Precious Achua is enough talent to get that done. Okay, you add maybe Jericho, you may have to add him to it, but so that is the second scenario. Now, again, you must look at the flip side. What was the scenario? Do y'all remember what I just said? The scenario was if Jericho and Precious are not getting the job done as backup to Mitchell Robinson. That's the scenario. That would facilitate you needing another 5. And they'll be looking at that point. Now, it'd be tough. Y'all naming Kessler as if you're not dealing with Danny Ainge. I don't know why y'all keep doing that. You can't get Kessler unless you deal with Danny Ainge. And if you think Danny Ainge is just giving them to you, and if you think that he just take him in exchange for just Precious, come on, y'all. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's wake up. Wake up a little bit. Wake up a little bit. You can't get Walker Kessler. You can forget him. Okay? He'll fit, but you can forget him. Okay? Robert Williams is more injury prone than Mitchell Robinson. I love his talent. I love Robert Williams' talent. And I feel like Robert Williams coming off the bench, if he could stay halfway healthy, would be tremendous for the Knicks. But that's a huge if. Huge if. I love Robert Williams' game. I liked him coming out of college. Only 6'9". He's just an inch taller than Precious, but he's a real legit 5. Robert Williams can play the 5. I love his game. But he is more injury prone than Mitchell Robinson. More. So if you got Robert Williams, you'd have to keep Jericho Sims for sure. Okay? You'd have to keep Jericho Sims because you're going to need him. Okay? And so, again, let's look at the scenario. We talked about this scenario as if Jericho and Precious are not working out. If they're not working out. Now, please listen carefully, you dreamers and fantasy players. Let's suppose they are knocking it out. Let's suppose Precious and Jericho are doing a bang-up job at backing up Mitchell Robinson. Let's say that the second unit, Mobb Deep, is killing people because of them two brothers, plus the other guys, right? Guess what then? No trade necessary. Did you hear what I said? You can stop the trade talk then. Okay? So if Mitchell Robinson is healthy and Precious and Jericho are killing it on the second unit, forget the trade. We're good. Okay? We're good. All the way through the playoffs, we're good. Okay? So that's the scenario. The Knicks are not going to make a trade because some fantasy guy says, I think this guy fits better. That don't mean that don't mean nothing. You got to have the scenario. The scenario's got to be Mitch Rob is hurt and we need a guy. Okay, now you got to go get a guy. And you even may have to overpay a little bit because you're not going to go get Robert Williams to start for you. You're not doing that. Okay, you're not doing that. He's too injury prone. It's based on need, purely based on need, right? So you need a starter that's not going to be injured, that will at least give you some of what Mitch gave you. And to me, you're talking about 3 guys, legitimately. Nick Richards, which y'all mentioned, Jonas Valanciunas, and I mentioned both of these guys, and Mo Wagner. Those are the only real possible 3 guys that you can realistically attain that will be able to start for the Knicks. Not be Mitchell Robinson now, but will be adequate enough. Okay, adequate enough. Those are your 3 guys. Okay, those are your 3 guys. And that's only if Mitchell Robinson is hurt for a significant period of time. If he's going to miss his normal 22 games, you're not making a trade because you're going to put Jericho Sims in there. And if Jericho is doing the job, you forget the trade. You're good. But if he's only going to play Mitch Rob that is 50 games or less, okay, if he's going to play only 50 games or less, you're going to need a guy. Okay, you're going to need a guy. Right then, you're going to need a guy. Okay. So here we go with that. I don't know if that's not a guarantee. Well, I'm hoping they don't need a guy. Okay. Yeah. So of those three guys, Wagner would be the least likely. Orlando loves Wagner. He's playing with his brother. Orlando's on the come up. Wagner's part of that come up. I think they keep Wagner. You know, they're not. They're real. I think they're real happy as I would be at their backup spot. And their coach ain't stupid. He's a really smart guy. He knows how to run that team. I don't think he gives up Wagner, even for Precious, even though Precious would be a tremendous asset. Because having Precious there would be having a more dependable guy like Jonathan Isaac. So Jonathan Isaac could also play the 4 or 5, so could Precious. That would be a really good, that would be interesting, but I wouldn't be trading Mo Wagner. That would mess up the morale of the team, especially with Franz Wagner, who's also an established star on the team. And that's their cornerstone. So I don't see them getting Mo Wagner. Would they trade Precious for Jonathan Isaac? I don't think that, well, the money doesn't match because Isaac's making good money, if I'm not mistaken. Isaac's making good money. Let me just double check that. But Isaac, if I'm not mistaken, is making good money. Jonathan Isaac is making $25 million. So yeah, that's not going to work. Jonathan Isaac's making too much money. So Nick Richards and Jonas Valanciunas are your two best bets. Now, both of those teams, Charlotte and Washington, you guys know those two teams, right? Washington Wizards, Charlotte Hornets. I don't think it's a stretch for me to say both of those guys are lottery bound, right? I don't think it's a stretch for me to say that. Both of those teams are lottery bound. You're going to have, for Washington, you got a bit of a better roster, maybe. Sadiq is there, but he's out for the year. Valanciunas. You got Marvin Bagley on that team, Jordan Poole's on that team, Kyle Kuzma's on that team, Corey Crispert's on that team, Malcolm Brogdon's on that team. They might be 500. Okay. They might be 500. And I think that's the ceiling of that team. Because of the injury history of LaMelo Ball, you can't rely on him. You cannot rely on LaMelo Ball. You cannot rely on LaMelo Ball. So LaMelo is a 50-game-a-year player. I would be surprised if he plays more than 50 games in a year. He is extremely injury prone. Extremely injury prone is LaMelo Ball. So with them, you got Miles Bridges, Seth Curry, Josh Green is on that team. He's good. He's a good role player. He's a good role guy. And of course, you got their rookie, now he's going to be in the second year, Brandon Miller, Nick Richards. They just got another rookie. They got another rookie that's pretty good. Who did they get? Is it McConnell? No. They wouldn't pick another pretty good rookie. Then you got Mark Williams, Grant Williams. They got a decent team. But they've been showing themselves not to be able to win with that team. Is Scary Terry still on that team? Is Scary Terry still in there? I don't think they got Scary Terry no more. So they don't have Scary Terry. I don't know, man. I don't know. So these teams are basically trying to stay out of the cellar. That's right. Scary Terry on Miami. That's right. McCormick. Scary Terry on Miami. So I don't know, man. LaMelo Ball's going to get hurt. So, yeah, Richards might be available. Richards might be available. Um, he might be available. And that's only if either A, Mitchell Robinson is out for an extended time, or B, the Precious Achua Jericho Sims combination is not working. I think there's more of a risk on. I think there's more of a chance that Mitch Rob gets hurt than there. I think the Precious. I have a lot of confidence in Precious and Jericho. I do. I got a lot of confidence in those two young men. I think they're going to ball. I think they're going to ball this year. I'm really thinking both of those cats are going to ball. So I'm not worried about backup center. But I am concerned, as most of you are, with Mitchell Robinson's health. Can he play 60 games? If he can, we're in good shape. If he plays 65, the Knicks are really, they could take the East if he plays 65 games and not get hurt, and be ready for the playoffs. So that's a big thing. So, I guess what I'm saying is, if you're talking about what will happen at the trade deadline, there's more of a possibility of trying to get a starting center than there is trying to get a backup center. I'm not worried about Precious and Jericho. I think those two young men are going to be very good backing up Mitchell Robinson. The question is, can Mitchell Robinson play 65, 60 games? And if he can't, okay, so now you're talking about Nick Richards, you're talking about Valanciunas. That's what you're talking about. And the Knicks, that would be tough, man. That's going to be tough, bro. That's going to be hard. I ain't going to front, because the Knicks will have to pay. The Don ain't never going to overpay. So let's get that out of our heads. But they're going to have to give up something. If they're going to get a starting center, they're going to have to give up something. The most valuable asset they have, to me, forget the starters, no starter. You're talking about Precious Achua. That's the guy. That's why they got him on a 9. He's only guaranteed $6 million. He can be traded. Precious is the likely candidate to be traded. Now, honestly, to me, it's a fair trade, straight up Precious for Nick Richards. Fair trade. In fact, I might even say Charlotte gets the better of that trade, but Nick Richards is more of a natural 5. And Nick Richards would start. Jericho Sims would be a backup center. Okay. I would do that. It would be hard. I hope I don't have to do that, but I wouldn't want to do it. I hope I don't have to do it. I hope Mitch Robinson is here. That's all I'm saying. Mitch Rob, keep them ankles strong, baby. Come on now. Get in shape, man. Let's go, baby. Get in shape, because I want you to be here for this stretch run. Okay? So that's it. I would really look, and you'd have to give up Precious in that deal. I don't give a flock about a Shamet curse. I ain't worried about Landry Shamet. The hell. I don't give a flock about a Landry curse. Flock of Landry curse. Flock of Twitter. Come on, baby. Let's get real here, man. Flock of Landry curse. Anyway, it looked like Landry Shamet might be the odd man out anyway, when you're looking at the roster, really, right? They're going to keep Jericho. They're going to keep Cam, Jericho, Tyler. They're keeping them, brother. Bates Diop, because you keeping him. Why? Bates Diop, how much is that dude making? Bates Diop. Is he making $3 million? He making like $2.8 million. Bates Diop, right? He making $2.6 million. So you add Bates Diop's 2.6 to Precious's 6, you got 8.6. Yeah, you might be able to get something done if you need to. Might be able to. Yes, speak Esther. If he goes down again, we trade him. I'm with that. I'm telling you. You have to get a team that's going to take him now, but yeah, I'm trading him. If he go, and I'm Mitch High. Mitch Rob. There's 3 players on this roster that I love the most. Deuce and Mitch is number 2. There's no question. Mitch and Deuce are my guys. There's no doubt about it. And then Precious. I'm all in them. So I'm Mitch high. But if he goes down again for an extended time and we could trade him, bye. Bye. I'm tired of this mess, man. You got to show up and play for something. I know that we need to manage his minutes. He is not a 30-minute a guy player. And if the Knicks did push him to play 30 minutes a night and he got hurt, I wouldn't blame him. They should know better. They should know better. They should know better. I'm not pushing him more than 25 minutes a night. But if you playing him to 25 minutes and the fool still get hurt, it just ain't working out, bro. So it just ain't working. You got to go somewhere else. Sorry. Use that $15 million, 14, 13, whatever it is. Combine it with something. Let's get something, man. Okay, matter of fact, you can trade that for Valanciunas straight up. Right? You could trade that for Valanciunas straight up. You hear what I'm saying? You could trade. Now, look, the Knicks have second rounders. They can do second rounders, if I'm not mistaken. They can do second round. They got this coming year, 2025, they got Memphis's second rounder, and they got their second rounder been forfeited. But they got Memphis's second rounder for this year. They got Dallas's second rounder. They got the Bucks second rounder. They got Minnesota second round 2026. They got a lot of seconds. So I would give a second round pick with Mitchell Robinson and go get Valanciunas if I needed to. Okay. But I'm Mitch Hive. I'm pulling for him. Come on, Mitch. Baby, stay healthy, bro. Come on now. Daggone it. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I don't give a flock about a Shamet curse. The hell with a Shamet curse. Listen, man. This is the New York Knicks. The hell we worry about somebody curse. We the curse. You're going to suffer the Knicks curse. If you Boston, you're going to suffer the Knicks curse. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? Hell with a curse. But come on, Mitch Rob. Get this thing done, man. Well, we got Precious, so we can't have it all, Malik. We got Precious. I love beef stew. I always like beef stew. Beef stew's my guy, man. But can't get everybody, so we got Precious. So I'm good with that. The second Jamaican in Knicks history, right? Yeah, second Jamaican starting center. I hear y'all. What would it take to get Mark Williams? A box of Cracker Jack, bag of chips. Yeah, box of Cracker Jack, bag of chips. That's it. Motherfucker, Mark Williams. Look, Mark Williams, first round draft pick, can't even beat out Nick Richards for the starting spot. What does that tell you? Come on, man. He can't beat Nick Richards for the starting center spot on a lottery team. Wait, did you hear what I said? Mark Williams cannot beat out Nick Richards for the starting five on a lottery team. On a lottery team. Come on, y'all. Come on, baby. What the hell are we talking about Mark Williams for? Yeah, you got a box of Cracker Jack, maybe a bag of Pringles, some chips. You got some Lay's potato chips and a Cracker Jack. Make sure it's got a good prize in there, and maybe some bubble gum, and you could get Mark Williams. Come on, baby. Let's not get desperate and go from bad to worse, man. Sure. Now, you talk about Walker Kessler. That's a different thing now. Walker Kessler, he's got potential. He could ball potential. But you got to deal with Jack the Ripper. You might get anally raped trying to get Walker Kessler. You trying to get Walker Kessler from Jack the Ripper? You may have to get anally raped with no Vaseline if you trying to get Walker Kessler from Utah. You dealing with the straight up jailhouse rapist in Danny Ainge, man. You know who you dealing with? The straight up jailhouse rapist, Danny Ainge. Come on, baby. You know, you ain't forget Walker Kessler, okay? It looks like it ain't happening, Nelly. Now that's what I'm trying to tell you. It looks like it's not happening. That's what it looks like. It's not happening. Coloco was signed. He was signed. Who did he sign with? Coloco signed with somebody already. So forget Coloco. He's off the table. Coloco signed with who did he sign with? I just saw it. I saw it was either Shams or one of them cats reported it. Coloco signed with somebody already. Who Coloco signed with? Coloco signed with the Lakers. He looked like he signed with the Lakers. They've agreed on a deal. Yep. Coloco, he would clutch and he signed with the Lakers. Yeah. So forget Coloco. You don't have to worry about him. And what would it take to get Walker Kessler? Like I said, man, don't, go into the jail, deal with Tiny, the rapist. Don't bring no Vaseline. You won't need it. That's what it's going to take to get Walker Kessler. See, when y'all keep bringing his name up, that's why I keep telling you. Why the hell do you think the Don wants to deal with Danny Ainge? Why the hell you think he does? The Don don't take no shorts. And do you understand every deal Ainge gets has to be short to the other guy? Gotta be. It ain't like you getting anything without getting cut from Danny Ainge. Okay? Come on, baby. Forget Walker Kessler, okay? Take that out your fantasy mind because that ain't happening unless he's an unrestricted free agent. Let's take a look at that. We can look at that. When is this boy going to be an unrestricted free agent? Because that's legit. Then you're talking legit. Because now somebody's got to pay him or trade him or something. Because if he, all right, Walker Kessler, let me see what this brother. Let's take a look at him. So right now he's on a $2.9 million deal, and he becomes a restricted free agent in 2 years. So he's on a club option in 26, which they're going to exercise at $4.8 million. And then he's a restricted free agent in 2 years. Y'all can forget him. Okay. Yeah. He is Suge Knight all over the place, baby. Yeah. Now forget Walker Kessler. I don't know why anybody keeps bringing him up because they just love to tickle their little fancy in their fantasy. So they got to keep bringing it up. Walker Kessler. Yes, we can get him. No, you can't. Unless you are of a certain persuasion and you like the AC/DC side and you don't mind it rough, then you can get him. Okay? Then you can get him. Then you can have him. But you're going to feel that after. Tell you that right now. You're going to feel that after that. You're going to feel that after. With Danny Ainge, all you got to do is understand this. You must lose the trade. Do y'all understand what I just said? When you're dealing with Danny Ainge, if you want to get a deal done, you are going to lose the trade. You're going to lose the trade. Okay? You're not going to win the trade. And do you understand that we have on our side one Don who's not going to lose any trade? He's not going to do that. The Don is not losing the trade. That's right. He's the booty warrior He's the booty warrior from the Boondocks. Danny Ainge, the original booty warrior. He like booty. There's nothing more important on the earth than booty. Not to Danny Ainge. Ain't nothing more important in the world than the booty warrior than booty. And so you dealing with Danny Ainge, baby. And so the Don is not giving up the bouquet. He is not going to do it. He's not going to do it. And y'all should know that y'all should be glad we got the. If it was Glenn Gunwall, ooh, that would be ugly. That would be ugly. If it was Isaiah Thomas, it would be ugly. But we ain't got to worry about that because the Don, he ain't giving up the booty. It ain't happening. So forget it. So Walker Kessler, just put that to rest, okay? Just forget about it. Unless you can get a third team that's willing to take that behind, that's he's willing to take that thing. You get a third team that's willing to take that, okay, then maybe you get Walker Kessler. That's possible, but the Don ain't taking no shorts. You all should know the Don ain't taking no shorts. That ain't gonna happen, man. He's not gonna get taken by no Danny Ainge. That's what's on GP. He's not doing that. And let me tell you right now, the Knicks won the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes. You don't realize that. The Knicks won the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes. You realize that? Do you know now? All of you guys that was having, serious problems, y'all was on Viagra with Donovan Mitchell. All the way up. Y'all was on Viagra with Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks won the Donovan Mitchell trade by not doing the trade. Y'all see that? Y'all understand that now? Cleveland lost the Donovan Mitchell trade. Cleveland lost the Donovan Mitchell trade. Okay? You hear me? So all of y'all that was all hellfire to give up half the Knicks for Donovan Mitchell, listen here. We end up with OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. I think we all right. We took out with Mitchell Robinson, Cleveland in 5 games. Last year, Cleveland lost again in the first round. The Knicks won that. You understand? The Knicks won that by not making the move they won. By not making the move they won. Guess who lost? Cleveland. Guess who lost? Cleveland. Oh, they beat Orlando first? My bad. What happened in the second? I don't remember. Tell me, buyer. What happened to them in the second round? Let me look it up because I honestly don't know. They lost in the second round? Did they? Hang on. Let me see. Let's take a look. Cleveland. Let's take a look here. Cleveland. That's right. They lost in 5 to Boston. Okay. All right. So they won in 7. They beat Orlando in 7, and they lost in 5 to Boston. So they got gentlemen swept in the second round. Okay. So is it giving up all them picks and all them players for Donovan Mitchell to lose in 5 in the second round? Y'all feel that was worth it? Just want to make sure. That's the point we're making here. So Cleveland gave up what? 4 number ones. They gave up Larry Marketing. They gave up that country boy from Alabama. And Cleveland they gave up all that to lose in 5 in the second round. Is it worth it? Did Cleveland win that trade? So they win in 7 against Orlando. Okay. They lose in 5 to Boston in the second round. So y'all still feel the Knicks should have gave up R.J. Barrett and whatever else the hell they wanted to give up for Obi Toppin or R.J. Barrett? There was 4 or 5 first-round picks for Donovan Mitchell. Should we have done that? What y'all think? Looking back, what y'all think? Should we have given up 4? Because that's what they were asking. Am I lying to y'all? They were asking for 4 number ones, R.J. Barrett, and I think Obi Toppin they were asking for. So should we have done that? Well, and especially all y'all that was really kicking the Knicks for not doing the deal. I want you to remember that going forward. The next time, you're not on your meds and you start tripping about a deal the Knicks didn't make. Remember Donovan Mitchell. Just remember that. Okay? Oh, that's what it was? Okay. RJ, Grimes, and 3 unprotected. Should the Knicks have done that? I like what we ended up with. See? RJ was out for OG and Precious. I like what we ended up with. We got a starter, a really high-level starter, and we got a high-level Mobb Deep guy. for RJ and IQ. There you go. We didn't lose nothing in that deal. Nothing. We gained. Oh, they went 14-2 when they got. Hey, listen here, man. See what I'm saying? And listen. And here's another one. When the Bucks got Dame Dollar, people was like, "Oh man, everybody got better except the Knicks." The Knicks may be playing for the play-in this year because everybody got better. You got Boston and Orlando and Cleveland, and now you got the Bucks, and you have all the Miami. Everybody's better than Knicks. The Knicks might be, they might be in the play-in this year. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? That was the reaction to Dame Dollar signing in Milwaukee. Hey, let's take a look at Milwaukee. Where they end up at? Let's take a look. I'm gloating now. I'm doing that on purpose. My love flock y'all with all this. Everybody better than the Knicks. I'm tired of y'all with this here. So, oh my goodness, look at this. The Pacers beat the Bucks in 6. First round. Okay. Pacers beat the Bucks in 6. First round. Oh my goodness. I told y'all they lose defense with Dame Dollar, and he too old. He too old to learn to play any defense right now. You cannot win in the league with no defense. You can't do it. You ain't going nowhere with no defense. Now, when they have Brook Lopez and Middleton and Giannis, along that front line playing defense, okay, they got good defense. But you just gave up Jrue Holiday, baby. What's wrong with y'all? Nah, y'all. You cannot win in the league. You cannot sniff a chip with no defense. Okay, you can't. You can forget it. Forget it. Yeah, they were gimpy. Hey, listen. What's the likelihood, David Barr? What's the likelihood of the Bucks getting through this season without being gimpy? How old are these guys? How old are they? Let's see. What we got here? What's the likelihood of the Bucks getting through 2024, 2025 without being, and I'm not just talking about injury, I'm talking about gimpy as hell. What's the likelihood of that? What's the likelihood of that? Of them getting through this season without being gimpy? What y'all think about that? Let's see. What they got here? They got Tyler Smith as a rookie. They got AJ Johnson as a rookie. They got a whole bunch of rookies on their team. They're trying to rebuild on the fly. Marlon Beauchamp, he's solid. Gary Trent Jr., Taurean Prince, Bobby Portis. You know what that's called, y'all? You know what that's called? That's called spare parts. And then you got Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, Damian Lillard is he's only 34. Brook Lopez, shoot, he's almost my age. Brook Lopez is 36. Chris Middleton, 33. Yeah, they got a chance. Yeah, they got a chance, yeah. But if you think they better than the Knicks, come on, y'all. Come on, baby. Come on, y'all. Man. Look, it's Boston, New York, and Orlando. And then you got Indiana, too. Them 4 are going to be your teams in the East. Those 4. Those are your teams. Now, if somebody suffers some serious injury problems, that would change. But coming into the season, those are and I'm not saying in that order either, but those are your 4 top teams in the East. Boston, New York, Orlando, and Indiana. I'm not even counting Cleveland. Cleveland might be the 5th. Maybe. Okay, maybe. Not really building blocks. I hear what you're saying with Bobby Portis, but I got Precious. Bobby Porter is 6'11", so he's got the height to play the five, backup five. I hear you on that. And he's a stretch three, but he ain't Tibbs style. No, he really ain't. He's not. Precious is more Tibbs style. Tibbs don't get carried away with these stretch five type dudes. He just doesn't, man. He need y'all to guard the rim. Okay? Yeah, I like Bobby Portis, though. I like Country Boy Bobby. I liked him on the Knicks. I like Country Boy Bobby. Just wasn't the right situation. Just wasn't the right situation for him. But I'm not worried about him. You know, that's spare parts, baby. You got Giannis, Dame, and some spare parts. And you got an old caddy, like, let me not say, you got an old, let's say you got an old 7 Series. You got a 7 Series BMW with 300,000 miles on it. That's another name for Chris Livingston. Chris. What's his name? Chris, what's the boy name? Chris Middleton. He's a 7 Series. He's a 7 Series BMW V12 with 300,000 miles on it. You could drive it. It's probably going to be nice. It's probably going to remind you that it was once great. But that baby could break down at any time. Anytime. Notice though, Carlos, I ain't even mentioned Philly. I'm sorry. I'm not buying into the Philly Kool-Aid. First off, Embiid. Let's look at Embiid's. How many games has Embiid played in the last 3 seasons? I mean, how many games? Let's look at Philly real close, y'all. How many games has Embiid played in the last 3 seasons? Joel Embiid, and let's see. Joel Embiid, 7 foot, 280 pounds. He is 30 years old. 30. He should be in his prime. But Joel Embiid, the last 4 seasons, 39 games, 66 games, 68 games, 51 games. Before that, 51 games, 64 games, 63 games, 31 games. Did not play his first 2 years because of injury. So since he's come back from his first 2 full seasons of being out, he's played 31, 63, 64, 51, 51, 68, 66, and 39. This brother's going to get in excess of $50 million per season. And let me just say this. You would be, and I'm not a betting man, but you would be a strong bet to say he's not going to play 60 games this year. I think he has just as much chance of not playing 60 games as Mitchell Robinson. And if you're depending on him to carry you in the East, you already got a problem. So Paul George, let's assume Paul George plays 72 games this year. You know Maxi's going to be there. Maxi ain't going nowhere. Maxi's a workhorse. Maxi's all that. Maxi's a superstar, all that. I like Maxi. You know, he's young. Maxi is now 23. He'll be 24 in November. Maxi played 70 games last year. Maxi is really 70, 60, 75. He's going to be around. Maxi ain't going nowhere. He's going to play the 72 games. And let's assume Paul George plays 72 games. That ain't enough in the East. What they got less than spare parts. What's their bench look like? Let's look at their bench. Eric Gordon. Well, Eric Gordon is a young guy. He's only 36 years old. Then you got, what else they got? Reggie Jackson. He's 34. What about, what else they got? Oh, dang. Let me see what. Oh, KJ Martin. All right. Kyle Lowry. There's a spring chicken. Kyle Lowry, 38. Okay. All right. And then, of course, you got Paul George, who's, he's 34. But, hey, he can hang out. Andre Drummond. Okay. All of y'all dying for the Knicks to get Andre Drummond. But, Andre Drummond is 31. He's 31. Kelly Oubre. They're all right. I'm not looking at this team and worrying about nothing, man. Andrew Kim, you probably weren't here. It's too early to make a judgment on Mitchell Robinson. if the Knicks play him the proper minutes, I feel like he can give us 65 games. If the Knicks play him with proper minutes and he gets hurt anyway, yes, he should be traded. But I'm not planning on trading him going into the season. I want to see what he can do for me, because if he's on his game, we can win a championship. So I'm not looking to trade him right now. I want to wait and see. I want to see what we look like in the midseason at the trade time. January. Is Mitchell Robinson still here? Is he hurt a little bit? Missing 17 games, we kind of expect that. But if he missed more than that, if he's got a breakage of some sort, a fracture, oh yeah, we got to talk about trading him. He's out. Okay. No, not necessarily David Byer. That's not true. That's not true at all. I feel like we can keep a healthy Mitch if he gives 25 minutes a game. No more than that. We definitely don't want him playing close to 30. But if he can get us 25 minutes a game, he should be able to stick around for 65 games. If he does play 25 minutes a game, then there's 23 minutes left. You already know Precious is going to play at least 18 of those minutes. So we won't really need Jericho Sims to play heavy minutes. We will need him starting for 22 games, though. 17 to 22 games. We will need that. Okay? We will need that. So let's wait and see what happens. But if things go right, you won't need to play Jericho heavy minutes. He's going to need to start some games for sure. And there'll be some games where he does play heavy minutes, like everybody. But on a regular basis, I don't think so. He won't get rotation minutes necessarily, but he'll be important for at least 15 games where he's going to have to start. So we'll see. Okay. But yeah, Mitch Rob has got to stay healthy this year. This is the year. We're looking at a championship. He's got to stay healthy. He has got to. Okay. So we'll see what happens here. And I think the Knicks understand that. You can't just put him out there for 30 minutes a game and expect him to stay healthy. He's not going to do it. But if you can give him 27, 25 minutes, I think you got something. All right, the time for the bench. We've been through this before, but I want to go through it. Apparently, Andrew Kim, you may not have been here when we went through it. Okay, so there's a total, and I'm going to talk in general terms, okay? You ready? General terms. There's a total of 240 minutes. Get your calculator, okay? There's a total of 240 minutes total that's available for the players to play in any NBA game. That's 48 minutes by 5 positions, okay? There's a total of 240 minutes. I'm expecting the starting group to play around 150 to 155 minutes. How it's divided up, that's a different story. But I'm expecting them to play between 150 and 155 of the 240 minutes. That would leave you with 85 to 90 minutes for the bench. Okay? 85 to 90 minutes for the bench. I'm not expecting Precious to really play more than 18 minutes, and I'm not expecting Deuce to play more than 18 minutes per game. So that's 36 of the 90. That leaves you with 54 minutes between Joshua Hart and DiVincenzo. So that 54 minutes, I'm not sure how that's divided up, but that averages 27 minutes each guy. And I could see both of them getting that kind of time. But that's the way I see this working out. I don't see Precious playing more than 18 a game. I don't see Deuce playing more than 18 a game, though they'll be very, very effective. And there'll be games where they'll definitely play more than that. But on an average, we're talking an average night over an 82-game season, about 18 minutes a game each for those two cats. And then that leaves 54, and I'm expecting that to be divided up between Hart and Devo. They'll be playing heavy minutes. Okay? So I don't think it's a question, Andrew Kim. Tibbs has already done that. You just have to look at the stats. He's already done that. That's not unusual. Last year was different because of all the injuries, but in a regular year, Tibbs already does that. That's what he does. That's exactly what he does with his 9 9-man rotation. We did this. In fact, we looked at this. Somebody was telling me Tibbs is going to play the starters more than that. And we looked at it. And last year they averaged about 153 minutes a game. And somebody said no team plays on, and we looked at playoff teams that played less, their starters less than 150 minutes. No, he's never done that, Kim. He's not going to do that. See, that's what I'm saying. Look at the stats. He doesn't do that. He's not going to play his starters 170 minutes. He never does that. That is unrealistic, and that's based on innuendo. Look at the stats. I think last year even, I think it was 156, and that was the high. I don't think he's going to do that again. Oklahoma City, we looked at Boston. Boston played the most. They started the most. But Oklahoma City, we looked at Indiana. We looked at Minnesota. All of those teams were around 150. That's about right. Okay. I see Tibbs being in that range, about 150 for the starters. Now, they're not all going to get the same exact number of minutes. Like I said, Mitchell Robinson is going to get less. OG Anunoby is going to get less because of their injury history. Obviously, Brunson's going to get more, obviously. So they're not going to get it. Each guy not getting exactly 30 minutes, but total, they're going to get about 150 minutes, for the starters. And then that leaves about 90 minutes for the bench. Okay. And of the bench, just based on what Tibbs has already done, Josh Hart's going to see the lion's share of those minutes. That's just how he does it. Tibbs loves Josh Hart. He's going to see the lion's share of those minutes. So if there's 54 minutes between him and DiVincenzo, you're probably going to get 30 for Josh Hart and 24 for DiVincenzo, or 20, something like that, because he loves Josh Hart. So Josh Hart's going to play heavy minutes. I don't care what the scenario is. That's one of Tibbs' boys. That's like his grandson. He's going to play. And he's going to play a lot. That's why I hope that boy's in shape. Eating all that candy ain't no good for him, but I hope he's in shape, man. Yeah, so that's exactly it. Nelly, no, that's what I'm saying. So I'm expecting, and this is average. I'm not saying there's no night that you're not going to see like Mitch Rob play over 30 minutes. There's going to be a night he does that. There's going to be a night when you see OG play 37 minutes, but that's not going to be the average. I think on an average night, OG will probably play 30. Mitch Rob play be 27. OG might even be less than 30. Okay. My wife is great. Thank you all for your prayers and well wishes. That was really generous of y'all to pray for her, and all the well wishes were blessings from Knicks Nation. My wife got released yesterday. They found nothing serious. Whatever the issue was, that we figured out what it was and what we need to do going forward. Natural means to fix it. And so, yeah, she's doing good. My wife is doing good. Thank you, fam. She's back to her old self today. And so everything is good. We went to dinner last night. Now, I took her to dinner last night at our favorite spot. And yeah, we're just chilling today. Yeah, we're chilling today. But yeah, she's doing good. She's doing real good. Thank you all again for your prayers and well wishes. Really, really nice of y'all. Appreciate that a lot. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, she's doing great. Well, she was released yesterday, and appreciate that, Malik. Appreciate that. Yeah, I took her to dinner, and we chilling out today. This restaurant always gives you, some of the best restaurants. They charge you money now, but they give you a lot of food. And this particular one here in Claremont, Florida, is a new restaurant. I think it's because it's new, but they make everything handmade, and they give you a lot. So she ordered. She had codfish, and she had gluten-free noodles that was stacked up, man. So she ate less than half of all that food they gave her. Again, she brought that home, and yeah, here we are, man. Yeah, here we are. So she's back to herself. She needs, I think, today, and she's not like 100% because before yesterday she hadn't eaten in 2 days plus. It's been more than 2 days she hadn't eaten. So now she got a good meal. She's back today. She comes back. She'll be back to herself tomorrow. She don't have to go back to work till Wednesday, so she's good. Yeah. She'll be good though. We're blessed. We're blessed. It was just to me a sign that I shouldn't go to Virginia, and I didn't. So that was stopped. Yeah, she just needs some time to recover. Yeah, she's eating. She wasn't able to eat. They didn't let her eat because they needed to do all these tests in her GI tract, and She didn't let her eat. All she could have was water. She had broth one night. She had ice one day. And then between Friday night and Saturday morning, she couldn't have anything because they were going to do a serious GI tract test, which they did, where they put the video down in your stomach and stuff. So they did all that. Everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, so yeah. Thank you all again for all your well wishes. If I haven't gotten back to you, it's not because I don't want to. I just haven't had time. I try to answer everyone that says, at least with a heart and a thanks, a thumbs up, for your prayers for my wife. I try to answer everybody, but I haven't been able to because obviously I've been kind of busy. But I'll try to get back to it, soon and answer you if I haven't yet. But yeah, thank you so much again for all your well wishes. Thank you all, Darlene. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, everybody. Nelly, everybody. My brother Malik, y'all really came through. I appreciate that tremendously. Really, we're blessed. We're really blessed. Okay, really blessed. But yeah, so let's discuss what we talked about today. So it looks like the odd man out is most likely Shamet. If the Knicks keep Shamet, Okeke, he's going to be out. He's not going to stick around. So he's out. And so Shamet may be out too, because they're going to keep, we talked about Tyler Kolek, they're keeping him. He's going to be remaining in the G League and get his reps in this year. They got 3 G League guys, three two-way guys already signed. So that's done. And if you had to choose between Cameron Payne and Shamet, we've already did that. It was landslide for Payne. That poll is still up there. Landslide, 135 votes, 75% for Payne. And I would agree with that. So Payne is going to be there. They're going to keep a center, so Jericho Sims is going to be there. And so, Hoop Porty's already signed on a 2-way. Kevin McCullough signed on a 2-way. And Jacob Toppin is signed on a 2-way. There you go. So you got them 3 guys. Plus you got Pekome Dadier. He's not playing. So he's going to be in the G League. Tyler Kolek's going to be in the G League. So they're going to be playing a lot in the G League. They're going to be probably practicing with the Knicks, getting their education on both sides. They're going to be busy young men, both of them, because they're going to be getting their minutes in the G League. They're going to be practicing with the Knicks. And so, yeah, there's going to be a lot. Yeah. Thanks, Felicia Lee. I appreciate that. Yeah, so it's going to be hard for Larry Shamet to stick. For Larry Shamet to stick, somebody's got to get cut. And I can't see Cameron Payne getting cut. I can't see none of them guys getting cut. I mean, I don't think they cut Pekome Dadier. He's too young. I think you keep him. I don't think they're going to cut Tyler Kolek either. I think you keep him. So, yeah, I don't know. Right now, you're not trading nobody until after December 15th. Right now, you're going to war with what you got. There is no trade happening now. No trade are happening right now. There is no trade. Let me just say it again so y'all can calm down. There is no trade happening right now. No trade. There is no trade happening right now. And Joe Curry, stop tripping. You must want to get screwed with no Vaseline, because you know damn well Danny Ainge ain't taking that deal. He just said, Kolek and Dadier for Walker Kessler. Wait. Please type a 1 if you think Danny Ainge would do that. Do you think Danny Ainge will take Dadier and Kolek for Walker Kessler? I'll wait. Do you think Danny Ainge is going to do that? No. Diamond Holdings. No, Joe Curry. He's not doing it. And no. He's not doing that, sir. No, he's not. That's not going to happen. So, no. He's not doing it. This is Danny Ainge that we're talking about. And right now, again, Joe Curry, calm down. See, Joe Curry jumped into the chat talking trades. The Knicks can win a championship, he'll still be talking trades. So we can't really pay brother Joe Curry too much attention. He jumps in the chat talking about trades. All right, let's go over this. there is no trades that can be made before December 15th. And the Knicks are not making any trades on December 15th unless they're in really bad shape injury-wise. Okay? They're not doing that. So what does that mean? It means that the Knicks are going to go to war with the 9-man rotation they now have. They're going to go to war with that. And they're going to do that for at least 30 games. Last year, when they made the trade with Toronto to get OG Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa, they were 17-15 at that time. They had just lost 3 straight, and they were 17-15, which means they had played 32 games when they made that trade. They had played 32 games when they made that trade. Okay? So that's typical. Let's not let our fantasies get away with us. Okay? They're going to play 30 games before they see anything, before they decide to do anything. They're going to play 30 games before they decide to do anything. Okay? And so right now, they're not thinking about a trade. They're trying to go to war with what they have. And let's say at the time they play 30 games, they're 25-5 or 22-8. If the Knicks play the first 30 games of the season and they're 22-8 and there's no serious injury, let me ask you all this question. In fact, let's make this a poll question. First 30 games. Man, I can't get the poll. Oh, I got to end this poll first. Let's end this poll. End this poll. All right, let's start a new poll. Here's a poll question. Okay, here we go. Here's the poll question. Y'all ready? Here's the poll question. Oh, I got 144 votes on that last one. What you think about that, Diamond Holdings? We got 144 votes on that last poll question. We got 144 votes. What you think about that, Diamond Holdings? Lonnie, what you think about that? We got 144 votes on the last poll question. Did you see that? We got 144 votes. But Lonnie, you see that? Yeah, we got 144 votes on the last poll question, the Payne versus Shamet. We got 144 votes. Interesting. Been seeing that number a lot. Okay, so the Knicks go 22-8 after 30 games. Last year, they played 32 games before they made a trade. So we're going to use 30. Are they making a trade? Last year, they were 17-15. When they made the trade for OG, they had lost 3 straight, but they were still winning. The winning team. They were 17-15 when they made the trade. they were 17-15 when they made the trade. No, you don't, Joe Curry. And I don't know why you won't receive the truth, Joe Curry. The truth is a team that wins championships do not make a lot of trades. One of the tenets of a long-term sustainable winning team is they don't make a lot of trades. They have continuity. That means you don't make a lot of trades. Okay? You make strategic trades when you need to. You don't need to make trades to keep stuff fresh. This ain't like, you dating people and you just need to switch up. You don't do it that way. You try to keep your team intact, especially when you develop and train them. So no, that's a wrong thing. You don't make trades just to keep stuff fresh. Oh my gosh, man. So anyway, no. And I think 91% of you are right. 91% of you are correct. If the Knicks are winning 22-8 or better after 30 games. Now, wait. Let me ask you a question. Percentage-wise, do you think Here, y'all hearing me? I want to make sure you hear this question because I ain't put this in the poll. Wait, let me put it in the poll. There you go. Let me put it in the poll. We got 22 votes. That's enough for this poll. Okay, wait. Let's do another poll. Here's another one. Here you go. Here's another poll. Here's another poll. All right. Here's a poll. So 91% of y'all said the Knicks ain't making a trade if they're at least 22-8 after 30 games. So here, what's the likelihood, and I probably spelled likelihood wrong. What's the likelihood that the Knicks would be 22-8 after 30 games? Is it less than 50% likely, or is it more than 50% likely? Oh, she's doing good, Brother Lonnie. Thanks for answering. My wife got out of the hospital yesterday. She's doing good. She's doing good. Holly Berry or Mitch Robb? Oh, that's not even close, baby. That's not even close. I'm not going to say that. You know, shoot, y'all trying to get me in trouble. But anyway, what's the likelihood that the Knicks are at least 22-8 after 30 games? Is it greater or less than 50%? Well, so far, 79% of y'all say it's greater than 50% chance. There's only 16 votes. I'm going to leave it for a second. So it's so far 75% of y'all saying it's a greater than 50% chance that the Knicks are at least 22-8 after 30 games. And I agree with that, especially if there's no injuries. If there's no major injuries in the first 30 games, there's a very high likelihood the Knicks are at least 22-8, after 30 games. Really, very high probability. And they could be as much as like 30-11 come mid-season. They really could. They that's how much potential is in this roster right now. That's how much potential is there. Okay. Again, let's remember when they got OG, they started off the first 17 games 15-2, of which they had 14 games with Juju. Before he got hurt, they was 12-2. And then they went and won another 3 straight without Juju. They won with 3 straight starting Josh Hart in place of Juju. And that was no Mitchell Robinson. So, yeah. And this year with Mikal Bridges, wait, what do y'all think? People was running up with this damn Shamet curse. Let me ask you all a question. Is Mikal Bridges a winning NBA player? We know he won on the college level. We know he won the championship on the college level. So we know that. But is he a championship piece on a winning NBA team? What do y'all think? Is Mikal Bridges a championship piece on a winning NBA team? So we ain't got to ask that of certain players. Like we know OG is because he was already on one. We know that DiVincenzo is because he was already on one. So we know those are championship pieces. But what do you think? Do you think Mikal? I'm going to tell you, Mikal Bridges is a definite. If there's nobody there else on that team that's a championship piece, Mikal Bridges is. And we know Jalen Brunson is. And we know DiVincenzo is. And we know OG Anunoby is. So there's no question. So now you just replaced RJ Barrett in the starting lineup with OG Anunoby. And you replaced DiVincenzo and IQ with Mikal Bridges. Yo. If nobody gets hurt, I'm gonna tell you something. This team ain't gonna lose. Let's say they're healthy. They're not gonna lose being healthy because they gotta have a time to break them to get themselves used to each other. That ain't gonna happen. Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby are plug and play, and if they're not hurt, this team's gonna be tough, man. This team gonna be tough. I am really looking forward to see these games against Indiana, Milwaukee, Boston, Cleveland, I'm looking forward to seeing these games because they're going to bring out the best in the Knicks. They really are. All of these teams are going to bring out the best in the Knicks. Man. Yeah, they always do start slow. And that's the thing. David Byer, I agree with you. They always start slow. And you know why? Because the defense is there. The offense is not. Okay. Tibbs offense, it takes time. Defense is already there. And then so you end up this year, defense is on another level. Offense is the continuity piece is important offensively. And even though Jalen Brunson has never played in a pro game with Mikal Bridges, right? He's never played in a pro game with Mikal Bridges. When you're talking about a guy that's plug and play, Mikal and OG make any team function better. They could have not played with you before. You stick them in a lineup, your team gets better because they fit in right away. They figure out their role and they fit in right away. So they're plug and play. There's not going to be this is the scary thing because what David Byer just said, he said Tibbs teams always start slow, and he's 100% right. They always get better after the midseason. Tibbs teams get better in May, April, March. They play better. So imagine now, that's going to happen. They are going to end up playing better later in the season. But imagine they start off 22-8 or 30-11, and they're still going to get better. We got the makings of a juggernaut. I like to use that term in this situation. We got the makings of a juggernaut. Okay. Shifty Lee, I loved your energy, man. I'd rather have you than some of these knuckleheads that predicted 500 and always down on the Knicks because they having a problem with their wife or their love life. They're not getting something and they start bringing it out on the Knicks because their life sucks. But you are always, if you ask Shifty Lee, they're going to go 82-0. I like Shifty Lee. That's my man right there. I like Shifty Lee, but he be bringing that excitable energy. Don't drink no more coffee, bro. He be bringing that excitable energy. So, but I don't think they'll go 30-2 now. But they certainly can go 30-11. You know, by the time you get to 41 games, they can certainly be 30-11. They really could. They can do that. They got that kind of team, man. They really could. This team could win 60 games. I'm not lying. I predict 55 plus. I told y'all that. But this team, I wouldn't be surprised if they broke 60. I wouldn't be surprised at all. If they broke 60, I wouldn't be surprised. This team could be like that. Okay. You done gave Tibbs too many weapons, man. The last time Tibbs had weapons like this was when he had a healthy MVP level that won MVP, Derrick Rose. That's the last time he had a team like this. He ain't never had a team like this, where all of these guys are his type of guys, and then you got Jalen Brunson, superstar, at the point of attack. What? Even his Bulls teams wasn't like this. Not like this. The bench for the Bulls team was good. The bench that they had for that Bulls squad was pretty good. That was no joke. But that ain't this bench. They ain't Mobb Deep. That's even with Precious. Shh. Yeah. 60 is realistic. I'm trying to keep and that's what I'm saying. Shifty Lee be bringing it to another. I be trying to keep my expectations more conservative, which is why I say 55. Last year, I said 50. They won 50. I said 50, though. And I was thinking they would win more. And I want to ask you think they would win more than 50? Let's say Juju never gets hurt and they get OG, right? OG and Juju never get hurt. Mitchell Robinson still gets hurt. But OG and Juju never get hurt. Do they win more than 50 games? Hell yeah. Last year? Hell yeah. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You know, if Juju didn't get hurt, and we know Juju's usually a brick doo-doo house. He don't get hurt like that. So you get Juju and you got OG, shit. They don't win more than 50. I picked 50. I was being conservative last year. I thought they might win really 55, which they would have if they didn't get hurt so much. Yep. So for the Bulls team, they had, I'm looking at the guy in my mind and I can't say his name. Oh, God. He ended up starting some games for them. Hang on, I'll tell you. Hold on, I'll tell you. Chicago. That was like 20, I want to say that was around 2012, 2011, maybe something there like that, like 2011. Let me see. It was 2010, 2011. They won 61 games. They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Miami Heat. That year, their bench, hold on, I'll tell you. Their bench consisted of Taj Gibson, Kurt Thomas, Omar Asik, C.J. Watson. That was the kind of bench they had. They had their starters of Luol Deng, Keith Bogans, Derrick Rose, Carlos Boozer, Joakim Noah. Then they had Kurt Thomas, Taj Gibson, C.J. Watson, Ronnie Brewer played. He was coming off their bench, 81 games. Kyle Korver. C.J. Watson really, he played a lot of games. It was Omar Asik, Kyle Korver, Ronnie Brewer, C.J. Watson, and Taj Gibson. Those were the guys that played most. Kurt Thomas came in later and played, but those were their guys. There was Taj, CJ, Ronnie Brewer, Kyle Korver, Omar Asik. He had 4 guys playing. That was his bench. Korver, Asik, Brewer, Watson. Actually 5. He had Taj Gibson, but Taj Gibson played 80 games. He played 80 games. Watson played 82 games. Brewer played 81 games. These are the bench. Kyle Korver played 82 games. Omar Asik played 82 games. The starters were Deng, Bogans, Rose, Boozer, Noah, and they won 61 games. All of those guys that I just named, except only one guy. That was Derrick Rose. The rest of them cats could play some defense. All of them cats. Asik, Korver was a shooter, so I would say he's not a defense player. But Brewer, Watson, Gibson, Thomas, Noah, Boozer, Bogans, especially Bogans, Deng, they play some defense now. Those cats play defense. Okay? I like this team better. The only defensive weakness Tom Thibodeau has in his rotation this year is Brunson. That's it. Brunson's the only guy. And he's not like horrible with the rest of those guys. He's not. Okay, so Brunson, and he takes a lot of charges. So that's your weakest defender in your 9-man rotation, Jalen Brunson. That's it. Okay, the rest of those cats are two-way players. Deuce is a two-way player. Hart is more of a defender, but he can score for you. Devo's a two-way player. Precious is more of a defender, but he could score for you. Juju, I consider Juju a two-way player. So is Mikal Bridges. So is OG Anunoby. They're two-way players. Mitchell Robinson, he's defense, but he can finish. You don't need him to be no three-point shooter. Then, of course, you got Jalen Brunson. Man, please, man. I like this team. This is a 60-win team. But I'm going to be conservative and say 55 plus. I'm just going to be that way like I was last year. Every year, I pretty much get it every year where they're going to win. One year, guys were talking about 27 games on ESPN. And I said, no, they're going to win 40 games this year. They won 41. Okay, it was a 72-game season. I said they're going to win 40. They won 41. Okay, I was wrong with the 37-win season because I didn't expect them to play Kemba Walker for so long or the Evan Fournier. I was right. I thought they would win at least 45 games. They won 47. And last year I said 50. They won 50. I thought actually they would win more, but of course the injury stopped them. But they still won 50, finished second in the East. Now listen, last year this time, y'all remember yourselves, remember where you were last year in September. That is September 2023. If somebody would have said the Knicks were going to finish second in the East, that's above Cleveland, above Indiana, above Miami, above Milwaukee. If you would have said the Knicks were going to finish second in the East, would you have believed that? I wouldn't have. I thought the Knicks could finish top 4. I thought they could finish top 4 last year. I didn't expect them to be second in the East. And especially with all of those injuries. Would you have thought they would have been second in the East last year? I wouldn't have. I thought they would have been 4th. I thought 4th last year. I said 50 wins, 4th in the East. There were 50 wins, 2nd in the East. Remember, it don't take as many W's to be top 4 in the East as it does in the West. In the West, you got to have at least 55 games to be top 4 in the West. In the East, you can get top 4 with 50 or less even. You can be top 4, okay? But not in the West. But we're in the East. So if the Knicks win 60 games, they're going to win the East. They're going to be top seed in the East. If they win 60 games this year, they ain't going to be 2 60-win teams in the East. So if the Knicks are winning 60, Boston is not. In fact, if the Knicks are winning 60, Boston is not. Okay, so somebody gonna lose their spot. I'm thinking the Knicks are gonna be second in the East, though. That's why I say 55 plus wins, but I wouldn't be surprised. Philly ain't winning those 60 games, bro. No. Philly ain't winning those 60 games. David Byer, you seem like a reasonable man. So David Byer, I'm gonna call you out and ask you a question. David Byer, David L. Byer, I'm gonna ask you a question. Are you ready? David Byer, do you think Joel Embiid, let me ask you this way. Will Philly win 55 games if Joel Embiid only plays 50 games? If Joel Embiid only gives them 50 games, can they win 55 without Joel Embiid? So now, okay, now I'm asking Mr. Byer, because Mr. Byer, and I'm saying seriously, he's a reasonable man. He said maybe. Okay, he said maybe. I like the answer. Okay. If Joel Embiid plays 40 games, he plays 40 games next year, can Philly win 55 games? If Joel Embiid plays 40 games next year, will Philly win 55 games? Okay, so for you, David Byer, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but you're saying they could get up to, if they get 50 games from Embiid, they can be competitive. That's what you're saying, right? If they get at least 50 games from Embiid, they can be competitive. I think that's what you're saying, right? Okay. Me, myself, if they don't get 60 games or 65 games from him this year, because look at the East. You got Orlando. Orlando's coming, baby. They ain't joking. You still got Indiana. They're getting Bennett Mathurin back. They got Halliburton. They coming. You still got Boston, of course, and you got the Knicks. So Philly, they're going to need to be in the running for top 4. They're going to need 55 wins. Okay, they're going to need that to be in the running for top 4. And don't forget the Bucks. I'm not as counting the Bucks as much, but yeah, the Bucks got that continuity. Don't forget the Bucks. That's right. So you got the Milwaukee Bucks. So Philly, now just talking about Philly now. Now, I want to let me point this out again because I did it already, and Ladio wasn't here. So let's go over it. Joel Embiid, his last 5 seasons. This is Joel Embiid's last 5 seasons, okay? Are you ready? So last year, he played 39 games. Last year. The year before that, he played 66 games. The year before that, 3 years ago, he played 68 games. The year before that, 4 years ago, he played 51 games. The year before that, 5 years ago, he played 51 games. So you're talking about 51, 51, 68, 66, and 39. So the likelihood of him getting 60 games is 50-50, man. Because look, in his last 5 seasons, let's see, 105, 173, 214, 265. So in his last 5 seasons, he's played 265 games. Let's take a look at that. 265 divided by 5. So in the last 5 seasons, okay, Joel Embiid has averaged 53 games per season. In the last 5 seasons, he's averaged 53 games per season. Like somebody said to me, I don't think Mitchell Robinson plays more than 50 games. And I could not argue that point. And the reason I couldn't is because that's what he's been averaging, 50 games a year. We're asking Mitchell Robinson to come above his average and play 60 to 65 games this year because he's done it once or twice. He's done it. So we're saying, well, can he go above his average? But his average is 50 games a year. So we're saying, can Joel Embiid beat his average and play more than 53 games this year? I'm going to say it's 50-50, no pun intended, that he does that. It's 50-50. There's a 50% chance he plays less than 53 games, and there's a 50% chance he plays more. It's 50-50. If he plays less than 53 games, Philly is finished. They cannot compete with Boston, New York, Cleveland, Orlando, or Indiana. They cannot compete with them with just PG-13 and Maxey and a whole bunch of spare parts, which is what they got. They got PG-13, Maxey, and Embiid, and a whole bunch of spare parts. They cannot compete with those top teams with that. They can't. Cleveland can beat them. That's what I'm saying. Cleveland can beat them. Yeah. So you got Boston, New York, Orlando, Cleveland, and Indiana. And that's not even talking about Milwaukee. That's not even talking about Milwaukee. So we're talking about Boston, New York, Orlando, Cleveland, and who am I missing? I just missing somebody. Boston, New York, Orlando, Cleveland, Milwaukee. We're talking about Milwaukee, five teams. And don't forget the Heat either. That's right. Now, Jimmy Butler is a question mark in terms of his health and his availability this year. He's breaking down a little bit more. I don't know what to expect from Jimmy Butler, but they're going to need him to be 100%. I think they can get there because of their team, their culture. The rookie, the guy that they had, Jaime is good. He's not like Pablo, but he's really good. And he can play really good in the Miami system. So they can withstand a little loss of Jimmy Butler. But Indiana, that's right, Senior B. So we talk about Indy, Boston, New York, Cleveland, and Orlando. Then you got Milwaukee. Philly's going to have a tough road to hoe. I'm going to tell you right now, Philly going to have a tough road to hoe, man. They're going to have a tough road to hoe. They really are. So I don't know, man. and like I said, I expect Indiana to be better this year because, first of all, Nesmith has now come into his own. Can we agree with that? Nesmith, you can expect Nesmith to be really good this year. To legit, he's coming to his own. Nembhard is for real. Nesmith for real. You got Halliburton and you got Benedict Mathurin. And then, of course, you got Miles Turner. So these guys are for real, man. Yeah, Nembhard's for real. He's for real, man. You can't sleep on him. He's for real. Okay. And then the bench with TJ McConnell. These guys ain't no joke, man. So now I expected them to be arriving the year before last, which they didn't. But last year, for sure, those cats are for real, man. And so you got a real squad, coming into this season. And then, of course, their bench, McConnell, Obi Toppin, that's their bench, man. I don't know. I don't want to mess with them. You got Miles Turner, Tyrese Halliburton, Aaron Nesmith, Andrew Nembhard, and Pascal Siakam. What? And then you got now Bruce Brown. Well, Bruce Brown, I don't think he's there no more. But you got Buddy Hield ain't there. Obi, Benedict Mathurin. You got TJ McConnell, Isaiah Jackson. That's a nice freaking bench. And Ben Shepherd ain't nothing to sleep on either. So, yeah. I'm not saying they're going to win the championship. What I am saying is they're better than Philly. That's what I'm saying to you. Indiana is better than Philly. Cleveland is better than Philly. New York is better than Philly. Boston is better than Philly. Orlando's better than Philly. That's all I'm saying. What's up, Michael Drake? Right. And then you got sleeper teams. You got to remember that because, listen, I would not sleep on the Toronto Raptors. I'm not saying they're going to win a championship this year, but I would not be surprised if they were top 8. I would not be surprised. If you told me Toronto ended up being top 8, I would not be surprised. They're going to be really good. Toronto is going to be much improved. I'm going to tell y'all right now, people have been sleeping on Emmanuel quickly too long. IQ's getting ready to show you something. IQ's getting ready to show you. He's getting ready to show you something. RJ is becoming what I thought he would always be. He's going to be, I told y'all, Jimmy Butler 2.0. I still think that. He bully ball from the 2 spot and the 3 spot. They're going to be rough. And Scotty Barnes is that dude. Scotty Barnes is that guy. Okay? So Scotty Barnes is that do-it-all on a high level dude. And so I'm not sleeping on him either. Yeah. That team is going to be better than people think. Unless they got injuries, which I hope they don't, but that team is going to be better than people think. The Toronto Raptors, let me get them up here. Toronto is going to be better than people think, man. What did they got this year? Let me see. They need some more depth and some more experience, I would say that. But they got RJ. They do have Bruce Brown, Jacob Podol, Kelly Olynyk, nice spare parts. Chris Boucher, nice spare parts. Scotty Barnes, one of these cornerstone Scotty Barnes. They got Davion Mitchell, nice spare part right there. Okai Agbaji, nice spare part. Grady Dick, let's not forget about Dick. He's good too, but he's not really, I'm not expecting him to be nothing serious. But yeah, they got a nice team, man. Barnes, Barrett, Quickly, that's their cornerstone. Podol is their 5. You got Kelly Olynyk, Boucher coming in behind them. They got a nice team, man. They got a nice team. Okay. Well, they're not a championship team, Rich M. I'm not saying they're a championship team. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, Rich M, Toronto could take the AFC. That's all I'm saying. Don't sleep on them. Because I'm expecting IQ to be all-star level. I'm not saying he's going to be making the all-star team, but I'm expecting IQ to be all-star level this year. I really am expecting big things from Emmanuel Quickly. I think he's that good. I liked Maxey better coming out of Kentucky, but I ain't sleeping on Emmanuel Quickly. Rich M, that's a good question. Rich M asked, is Toronto better than the Heat? Just because we got to ask that question. Whether the answer is yes or no, just because, like, for example, if I say, is Toronto better than Boston, right? Is Toronto better than New York? Hell no. See what I'm saying? Toronto ain't better than Orlando. But if I got to even ask the question, is Toronto better than the Heat? For us to even ask that question, and it be a question, I'm trying to tell y'all, man. So I think Toronto's bench, good question. Let me see. Grady Dick, Davion Mitchell, Chris Boucher, Kelly Olynyk. That's their bench. They got Kelly Olynyk, Chris Boucher, Davion Mitchell, Grady Dick, Okai Agbaji, who I like. I like him as a player. Okai Agbaji is a good guy, good player. You remember this guy? They got a rookie, Jonathan Mugbo. He's pretty daggone good. They got him. I think he's from UCLA. Where's Mugbo from? I think he's from UCLA, or where is that boy from? I liked him coming out of college. Nice player. He's a solid player, man. I think he's going to be pretty good. He ain't no superstar now, but he's a nice spare part. You need spare parts, y'all. You need spare parts. Mugbo coming out of San Francisco. I liked him. I like his game. They're a solid team. They ain't no championship team. Now, they ain't top 5 in the East, but don't sleep on them, okay? Don't sleep on them, right? That's all I'm saying. Don't sleep on them. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. So, yeah, that's all I'm saying. So, the Heat and Philly, they don't have a lot of room for error. See, look, let's take the Knicks. If Mitchell Robinson got hurt, and you had to go get a 5, the Knicks could still be top 4 in the East. If Mitchell Robinson was healthy, and let's say OG Anunoby went down, the Knicks are still top 4 in the East. You put in Hart, and you just keep on going. If Juju went down and OG and everybody else stays healthy, the Knicks are still top 4 in the East. If Embiid goes down, Philly's done. You'll hear what I'm saying. If PG-13 goes down, Philly's done. If Maxey goes down and everybody else is healthy, Philly is done. You see what I'm saying? On Boston, if Jaylen Brown went down, that would be a huge blow. Boston is still top 5 in the East. Still top 5. Okay? If Orlando loses Paolo, they're not done, but they're at least 500. Even without Paolo, they probably win they're better than 500. I would give them, at least 45 wins, even without Paolo Banchero. They're good, man. Last year, Indiana suffered a lot of injuries. Benedict Mathurin being the biggest one. they were still in the conference finals. But if Embiid is down and out for more than 40 or 50 games, if Maxi's out and Embiid's healthy, but Maxi's out, if Maxi and Embiid are healthy, but PG-13 is out, Philly's done. I don't even know if they make 500. I don't even know if they top 8 in the East. If any one of those three guys is out, the only guy we could say that about in New York is Jalen Brunson. That's it. If Jalen Brunson is out, hey, the Knicks are still making the playoffs. They're starting Deuce McBride. They're not going to be top 4 in the East, but they will still make the playoffs. Okay? It'll be tough, but they'll still make it. Okay? That's how good they are. I still think they'd be top 5, top 6 in the East without Jalen Brunson. That's the only guy. So even with him, they're not done if they lose him. They're not going to the chip, but they're not done. But you lose an Embiid or a PG-13 or a Maxi, they're done. They're done, man. It's like Denver losing the Joker. If Denver loses the Joker, they're done. You hear me? They're done. If Minnesota loses Anthony Edwards, they ain't going nowhere. That's it. They're done. Okay? Oklahoma City's different. If they lose SGA, they're not going to be top in the West, but they'll still make the playoffs. They're that deep. They're that good. I'm not sleeping on. There's some teams. That's how you could tell the team how much loss can they withstand. That's why I'm so high on the Knicks. The Knicks suffered tremendous injury loss last year, and we're still second in the East. So I'm trying to tell y'all, man, there's some guys, some teams can't handle that. Let me tell you. If Miami loses Jimmy Butler for an extended time, they're done. I don't care what. They're done. Okay? Even with Jaime Jaquez, they're done. Okay? So there's some teams that are very vulnerable. Very vulnerable. If Denver loses the Joker, which is highly unlikely, if Joker's game is predicated on playing floor level, he's not an above-the-rim player, and he doesn't really rush anything, he's going to be there. But if they were to lose him, they're done. Period. If Ant is not playing for the Wolves, they are done. If Kevin Durant is out, or if Booker is out or Durant, they're done. They can play without Bradley Beal. But if Booker is out, they're done. If Durant is out, they're done. Okay? There's nobody behind them that can help that team. That's it. Okay? There are teams that could withstand loss, and there's teams that can't. The stronger teams can. That's what it is. If Garland is out, Cleveland could still be top 5 or 6 in the East. If Donovan Mitchell is out, Cleveland could still be top 5 or 6 in the East. They got enough to come in behind them. They ain't winning no championship, but they still a tough team. Okay? There's only a couple teams that get wiped out with the loss of one player. Those are teams you could forget right off. You can forget, except Denver, because like I said, the Joker is the type of player that he's around. He's not going nowhere. He's a big lumbering dude. He takes his time. He doesn't get hurt. He's a big dude that takes a lot of punishment, doesn't get hurt. He doesn't play above the rim, so it's not athleticism you're worried about with him. He's going to be there, okay? They'll lose Jamal Murray before they lose the Joker. And they've lost Jamal Murray and still been in the top of the East, out of the West. So, it's the Joker. But aside from him, he's the exception. Any other team, you take Luka Doncic off of Dallas, they're done. They ain't going nowhere. They're done. Okay? They're done. Sorry, Shifty Lee. I don't know what's going on. It was frozen before. But that's what I'm saying. As good as some of these teams are, if you take a certain player off their team, the Kings, if the Kings lose De'Aaron Fox, they're done. They're done. Okay? Right. Exactly, Jason Neighbor. If the Warriors don't have Stephen Curry, forget it. Forget it. Now, Stephen Curry is one of those durable dudes, though. He's around. If the Lakers lose LeBron, it's over. Forget it. Forget about it. If the Lakers lose LeBron, it's over. If Dallas lose Doncic, even if they got Kyrie, it's over. Forget it. Okay? Next year. Look for next year. Right. That's what I'm saying. The Knicks have enough balance, and they showed it last year. You could lose several players, and they still could compete for the East. Only one that's the exception to that is Jalen Brunson. If Jalen Brunson is out, for the season with some, God forbid, with some horrific injury, they'll still be top 5 in the East. They just won't win a championship, but they'll still be top 5 in the East. Okay? With everybody else being healthy. You cannot say that about most of the teams. Boston could withstand the loss of Brown. I don't think they can withstand the loss of Tatum, but they can withstand the loss of Brown. They won't be, top 2 in the East, but they'll be tough. Okay. Cleveland will be tough. If they lost Donovan Mitchell, they'd be tough. Still, they won't be the champ, but they'd be tough. Indiana's already proven they can win without Halliburton. They won't win a championship, but they'll be tough. They got enough TJ McConnells, Nimharts, Matherins to make a difference still. Okay. So there's teams that are deep enough to withstand a loss. Philly cannot. That leaves you very little room for error. You understand? That leaves you very little room for error. Yeah. Y'all do. So people forget. Wait, let me remind you. We are going to win this series. We are the better team. We're going to win this series. Y'all remember that? Wait, y'all remember that? Yo, do y'all remember that? We are going to win this series. We are the better team. Oh man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah. Nah, man. Philly got a very little margin for error. Very little. Very little, baby. Very little margin for error. Camden, Philly, the Camden Sixers, huh? Camden, New Jersey Sixers. They ain't taking Sixers out of Philly, man. That's a storied franchise. That franchise is one of the original franchises in the league, man. Yeah, Philly fans do have a tough base. Nah, they were just talking that, Jay Sniper. They were just talking that. They ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I agree, Shifty Lee. I'm with you on that. That's why I'm liking your energy, man. I'm liking your energy, Shifty Lee. I'm trying to tell you, I like your energy, man. We there this year. We ain't joking. We ain't no joke. We there, man. We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna do this thing this year. We doing this thing, man. That's all I'm saying. We doing this thing. I'm with you on that. So we'll see. Philly's got enough money, and they already draw people from Jersey to come to Philly for all their games, for the Phillies, for the Flyers, for the Sixers, for the Eagles. They already got a bunch of people coming from Jersey. Why would they need to move to Jersey? They gonna still be there, man. They gonna be there. Yeah. So they gonna be all right. They ain't going nowhere. That was all talk, man. That's all talk. But they were going to win the series. We are the better team. Are you really? Hate to break it to you, Mr. MB, but y'all was not the better team. The better team won. I believe that, Nelly, no. But, that's all good. The Knicks practice in Westchester. They're going to move to upstate New York. Sometimes they even, I heard they was going down to South Carolina. I heard they was going to Charleston for training camp. Did y'all hear that? I heard the Knicks are going to Charleston for training camp again this year. I heard Tibbs is taking them down to Charleston, South Carolina to get away from everything so they can work in the lab. I heard they was doing that. I know he couldn't even look at the camera when he said that. He couldn't look straight in the camera and say he's playing with his hair like this, man. We are going to win this series. We are the better team. Okay, bro. Let's see what happens. I am excited. The Knicks can play. I'm looking forward to whoever they play this year. Let's get it on. I just don't want nobody to get hurt now. That's all we're talking about. Just don't get hurt. Yeah, I have heard. Where did I read that? That they're going to Charleston to do training camp. I'm not sure if it's the Citadel, but they did. Pat Riley's the first one to do it. He took the Knicks to Charleston, South Carolina years ago. And they did it a couple of times since then. And I heard that this year that they were going to practice, they're going to open camp in Charleston. Do they go every year, Malik? I know they've done it a lot, but yeah, okay. So yeah, they're probably true. They go into Charleston. Yeah, Riley started that. He brought them down there first. Yeah. But then they've been doing it a lot since then. Yeah. Well, we already got enough injured centers to. We don't need them be $50 million a year. We paying Mitch Rob 15. That's the better deal. Oh, Rich MC. Rich M asks, who do you see leading scorers on the Knicks? Brunson, Juju, and then Bridges. I don't look at it that deeply. I'm more general when it comes to things like that, because to me the biggest stat is the W's, right? So I don't care. I see Brunson being the first option, and I see Juju being the second option. Somebody said that Bridges could end up being the second option, and that's possible. Bridges, that it'll be an organic thing. Whatever's working, they're going to go with that. And so, but Brunson's going to be the first option. So therefore, he probably will be the high scorer. He's going to be the first option. McCall probably will start off being the third option. But again, organically speaking, McCall could outperform that. He could be playing at such a high level that he becomes the second option. That's entirely possible. But the thing about Julius Randle that I believe we all kind of understand, even though he's willing to sacrifice for the team, I believe that. But he does need touches. I think we know that, right? Juju needs touches. He's got to get a certain number of touches every game. So even if he's not the second option, he's going to touch the ball every time down the floor. He's going to touch the ball. Okay, he's going to get a lot of touches. Juju got to get touches, and Tibbs is going to make sure he does. Now, whether that means second option or third, I don't know, but he's going to get touches. Okay, so we'll see. It's going to be interesting. But Brunson is number one option. It's like a toss-up between McCall, Bridges, and Juju during the course of the season. But whatever's working the best is what's going to happen. Whatever's most effective is what they'll do. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, the Knicks have, to me, I consider Julius Randle two-way, especially when he's on the floor with OG. OG's is a two-way guy. McCall Bridges is a two-way guy. Then on the bench, Deuce is a two-way guy. Devo's a two-way guy. So you got at least 5 guys that are legit two-way players in the rotation. And then Brunson, McCall Bridges, and Deuce and Devo are threats to be 50, 40, 90. All 4 of those guys. Deuce, Devo, Brunson, and McCall are legit threats to be 50, 40, 90 guys. All 3 of them, okay? They're not obviously going to have the same volume of touches, but they all can be legit 50, 40, 90 guys. All 3 of them, okay? So this is going to be really interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare for everybody in the league. And I know y'all too. Y'all all in to see it. Organic, he's going to be hard-pressed to stay on the roster. Shamet. We went through the roster and we was like, okay, we're looking at the roster. Okay, so there's going to be 19 players on the Knicks roster going into training camp. 19. They're going to probably pick up 2 more because they can carry 21 players. The Knicks are allowed, an NBA team is allowed to have 21 players in training camp. The Knicks have 19. They'll probably add 2 more. So you take the 9-man rotation off the table. That's set. The 9-man rotation is set. Okay. There's no speculation, in my view, with who the 9-man rotation is. That's off the table. So now you're dealing with 6 roster spots. And you're dealing with 6 roster spots, and you're going to have 13 guys. No, 12 guys trying to get 6 spots. Okay? Everybody see that? So you take the 9-man rotation off the table. That's set. They're not going to. None of those guys are not going to be in a rotation. They're all 9. That is Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Brunson, and McCall starters. Deuce McBride, DiVincenzo, Hart, and Precious. That's your 9-man rotation. They're on the team. Don't have to worry about that. So now you got those 9 out of 21. That leaves you 12 guys. You only need 6 more spots. 6 more spots. Okay. Now, they already signed 3 two-way players, which is the maximum that you can have on an NBA team. 3. They signed 3 already. Jacob Toppin signed to a two-way deal. Kevin McCullough is signed to a two-way deal. And Ariel Hukporti are signed. All 3 of those guys have two-way deals. Okay, so we take them off the table. They're going to play G League. I think we can bet that Kolek is going to stay because he's going to play G League most of the year, all of the year. He's going to play G League, and he's going to practice with the big team, but he's going to get all his reps and his development in the G League. Okay, so we could take that. That's a regular roster spot gone. So now you got 5 spots left. I think we could take Pacome Daddier and he's going to be a full-time G League guy. He's going to be a full-time G League guy. So he's got a roster spot, but he's going to play all his games in the G League. So there's another roster spot gone. So now you only have 4 more left. They are definitely keeping the backup center. You got Jericho Sims. That's a roster spot. That's gone. So now you got 3 guys, 3 spots. And so you got Shamet, Cameron Payne, Bates Diop, Okeke, and I'm missing some players, but you got. So we did a poll, and most of us feel if I had a choice between Cameron Payne and Landry Shamet, I'm keeping Cameron Payne. Okay, so now you got your point guard spot is set. Okay, so your point guard spot is set. So now Shamet doesn't have a guarantee signed in Exhibit 9. Yeah, they already signed Jacob Toppin to a two-way deal. Jacob Toppin is a two-way. They got 3 players already signed to 2. I'm looking at Spot Rack. That's my source. Just to let y'all know. I'm looking at Spot Rack. Spot Rack has Ariel Hukporti, two-way deal. Kevin McCullough, two-way deal. Jacob Toppin, two-way deal. So, and that's the max you can have. They got 3 guys on two-way deals. Daddier is going to be playing his whole season in the G League. So is Kolek. They'll be practicing with the regular rotation. Sims is going to be, he's here. So your first 11 guys, aside from the 9-man rotation, is Sims and Cameron Payne. So then you got Okeke. That's it. You got Okeke and Bates Diop and Shamet. Okay. Yeah. So Okeke, Bates Diop, and Shamet, they don't need 4 point guards. And they got, as far as backup 2 guards, you got Hart plays the backup 2. You got DiVincenzo plays the backup 2. You got Deuce plays the backup 2. They don't need another 2 guard. And so I think Shamet's the odd man out. That's why he's got an Exhibit 9 deal. He doesn't have a guaranteed deal. It's an Exhibit 9 deal that he signed. Yeah, so you got 3 two-way guys. You got a couple, at least 2 rookies playing in the G League that are on your regular roster. And so it's going to be hard. Then you signed Cameron Payne, and you got already, again, Jericho Sims. So yeah, it's going to be tough for Shamet to make the team. It's going to be tough for him to make the team. I don't think he makes the team. I'd be surprised if he makes the team. It'd be tough. No, but I'm not going to a watch party for the first game. No, I'm not. No, I don't get into that, honestly. We have dinner together before a game. Sometimes when we were in Brooklyn last year, me, Senior Beef, couple of my cousins, and a couple of other brothers came, and we had dinner in Manhattan last year at Florida de Mayo. delicious. Yeah, I love their food. Florida de Mayo. We had dinner last year at there, and then we went to Brooklyn. Um, this year, I'm going to be in DC with Senior Beef. Um, we're probably going to have dinner together. Well, we will have dinner together before that game. So we got the 7:30 tip off, I think it is, in DC against the Wizards in December. And we'll probably have dinner at, there's a place right next to Verizon. It's called, what is the name? Clyde's. Clyde's is right next to Verizon. We'll probably eat at Clyde's before we go to the game. Or we'll probably eat at Clyde's before we go to the game. That'll be in December 27th, I believe that's the game. So we're going to probably eat at Clyde's. Jay Sniper, I see it, them waiting to see what happens after 30 games. Jay Sniper, do you see the Knicks make a move at the trade deadline for a center, or do you see them playing it out? I think they're going to wait and see what they look like after 30 games. And we were talking about it earlier, and I said, like, we came to the conclusion. If the Knicks are at least 22-8 after 30 games and everybody's healthy, they're not making a move. That's it. They're going to stay there. You're ready to go to class. Yeah, right. There you go. No, I never ate at Clyde's restaurant in New York. We were going to, and that's the year he shut it down. We were going to go and do that, but then that's the year he shut it down. So we never got a chance to eat at Clyde's, but I wanted to. He just shut it down before that. But this year we're going to eat at Clyde's, not Fraser Clyde, but Clyde's in DC. Clyde retired. I think he just decided that he didn't want to do it no more, and that was it. Clyde is almost 80 years old, man. He's getting tired of all that mess. He can't be running and grinding all the time, man. You got to chill, you know? So he decided to shut it down. Yeah, I heard. I wish I could have been there. I do. When we're at a game, Rich M, I do go live. Y'all know that. When we at a game, I go live. I go live when we at a game. I go live. I don't go live for the whole game, but pregame, we go live at pregame. Yeah, we go live, man. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. We'll probably do little live streams starting when we go to Clyde's. Now, me and Senior Beef are gonna be there. If anybody else wants to come, let us know, and then I'll make a reservation for more than just us two. Because right now it's just me and Senior Beef. If y'all plan on being in DC and you want to hang out at Clyde's with us, you know, I'll make a reservation, and we can make a reservation for how many guys are coming. You know, because Clyde's gets real busy before a Knicks game. Clyde's gets real busy before a Knicks game, so you got to make a reservation. And if I know a bunch of y'all want to come, we'll make a reservation and all of us will be there. Otherwise, you'll be sitting at a bar in Clyde's and it's really crazy. I'd rather get a private booth upstairs. If you've ever been Clyde, they got a nice upstairs situation. I'd rather get a private booth upstairs if I can. Yeah. Oh, you mean when watching the game? No, I don't like to do live streams during the actual game because I'm too busy focusing on the game. Even when I bring my fam, I brought my nephew there once. I brought my brother. No, I did. I brought Damien with me once. Damien was cool. And then I brought my cousin last year. I'm too busy focusing on the game to do a live stream. I'm really focused on the game. I'm watching the nuances. I'm watching the minutes. I'm watching the individual matchups. I'm watching the defensive assignments and schemes. I'm too busy focused on the game to do a live stream during the course of a game. And I'm too busy, playing it back in my mind after a game to do something immediately after. I know guys do it, and I'm not downing them. Some guys do a live stream during the game. Some guys do a thing right after the game. I'm not downing anybody that does that. I can't do it because I don't like quick reactions to a game. I know people get into it. They get the clicks right away when everybody's emotions is high, but I'd rather have something more balanced. That's why I wait till the next day. Yeah, I'm constantly analyzing during the course of a game. I can't do a live stream during the course. I'm just not able to do it because I can't watch the game the way I want to. Yeah. Am I the only Knicks fan in my family? No, my oldest boy is. He's going with me to the Minnesota game. So my cousins are. So my cousins in Brooklyn. The cousin that went with me to the last game is I got another cousin in the Bronx. Some of my family is. I got a cousin in the Bronx. She's into it. She came to dinner with us before the last game. I got a cousin in the Bronx is. My oldest boy is. I got some Knicks fans in my family. Yeah. Oh, okay. So if you come in, Lonnie, let me know, okay? Because then we'll have a reservation for us. Yeah, I'll be organic is right. I'll be coaching from the seats. I'll be coaching. I'm one of them dudes. I'll be coaching from the seats. I'll be like, Tibbs, pull a deuce cut. I'll be telling the rest, yo, you need to go back to the G League. This is the league, boy. Nelly Nell, I thought about it. I would say I'm still thinking about it. I think this. Be fair, Nelly. No, if I get to 15,000 subscribers, I'll make a membership channel. I'll do a membership. If I get that many subscribers, then I think I have to. Yeah, 10, But if I get to 15,000, I'm definitely going to do a membership channel. I'll do it then. But oh yeah, I definitely boo the refs, especially if Tony Brothers. Oh my God. When I see Tony Brothers and I'm I say, oh, here we go. Tony Brothers, y'all know refs, you know Tony Brothers. Oh my God. I said, how much you got in the game tonight, Fo? How much you got in the game tonight against the Knicks, Fo? So we'll see, but I got to get 15,000 subscribers. We'll see what happens. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, Scott Foster too. Scott Foster, Tony Brothers, oh my God. Those guys drive me crazy. And they're consistently bad against the Knicks. Consistently. They should do an investigation to those cats, man. Yeah, man. Be like, brothers, how much you got on Orlando, man? What you doing, man? What odds you got? Because you sure enough in the bag. You in the tank, boy. Shoot. Then Frost, I said, you've been around long enough. You know this is the league. What you looking at, man? Shoot. They need to investigate you. Yes, they have. They should use more they should use more. I guess they want to keep the suspense in the game, but they should use more technology, I think, with refereeing. But that's just me. That's just me. But yeah, I'll be yelling at the refs. I'll be coaching the game. I'll be telling kids, okay, kids, time, take them out, take them out, take them out. Oh man. So anyway, we be having fun. One time I was at a game, Taj Gibson looked up and he smiled. He was laughing at me. He could hear me because I was close. I was about maybe 15 feet away from him. And he looked and he laughed. And I said, Taj, I said, warm up, bro. We're going to need you tonight. Get warm, old man. He started laughing. Oh, man. Yeah, so I have fun at the games, man. I'll be having fun at the games. Be having fun at the next game. And I'm going to have fun at the Minnesota game and the DC game. Going to be fun. Okay. So anyway, let me get out of here. But if y'all want to hang out at Clyde's before the DC game, that's on the 27th. Like I said, it's like the 27th of December. The 19th, I'm going to Minnesota with my oldest boy. We're going to be in Minnesota at that game. But the 27th, we're going to be in DC by the grace of the Most High watching the Knicks. So if y'all want to hang out at Clyde's, you're going to be in DC or in the DMV area, let me know. I will, Lonnie, I'll hit you up when we get ready to do it. It's on the 20th, mark your calendar now. It's the 27th of December. So yeah, you remember now. Okay. And in case I forget, you'll remember. In case you remember, I forget. In case I remember, you forget. We'll remind each other. So, you know what I'm saying? So we remember as we're getting out there. But yeah, I'll let everybody know when it's time. The two games I'm going to are about a week apart. So we'll head it up. All right, let me take off, man. I got other things to do. Always fun, Knicks Nation. Always fun hanging out with y'all. We hang out for extra time today, but we have fun. Again, thank you all for your prayers. Thank you all for the good wishes. Greatly appreciate that. My wife is doing a lot better. Again, due to your prayers and your well wishes, the Most High answered you. Thank you again for all of that. No, my wife's not coming. My wife's definitely not coming. I'm going to be staying with my kids in Virginia. My wife is not coming. She's not coming to either game. I'm staying with my kids in Virginia for the DC game. I'm staying in a real nice hotel near the stadium for the Minnesota game. Yeah, that's how we doing that. So it's all good, man. All good. Yo, shalom to Knicks Nation. Shalom, family. Thank you for hanging out with us today. As usual, we had tremendous time. Blessings to all of you and your family.